and your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only...
But why? $22 million in 3 fucking hours!
There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not.
Neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why?
What's your dream? To go away.
To go away. That's right.
Do you guys want to drink? I don't understand why everybody has to be so judgmental. I understand why mom's judgmental. I think it's because she cares partially. I think it's also partially because everyone else is looking at her like, hey, Cody's just a bum. Cody's this, Cody's that, Cody's this. Cody's me, bro. Let me be me.
GM, what's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to another day here at MCG. Boys, look at this price action. My goodness. Really thought Bitcoin would hold up a little bit better at this point, but looks like we got some work to do here on Bitcoin, on majors, but honestly feeling very optimistic as far as where we are. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to the show. Got a lot to talk about here today. We have our first interview coming up at 12:30 with PokerX. But yeah, we have them. We'll do some, we'll go through our normal routine here. Go through a little bit of macro, talk about our expectations going into the future. And then we'll talk a little bit more about everything else afterwards, some on-chain stuff. I do want to talk to you guys about this whole Ansem coin and what's going on there. I would love to kind of get you guys' opinion as far as like, all right, what are you guys thinking? What are your thoughts on everything going on with Ansem? GM Top Fumbler, hope you're doing well, bro. GM. Yeah, so welcome back, guys. We have our first interview coming up in 13 minutes. So let's start with just some like macro takes here. Let's start with Bitcoin, and then we'll work our way down here. So Bitcoin, we're at 58.4 on Bitcoin. So here we see, basically what I think is happening is we have if you look closely, obviously we're at the lower part of this range that we formed, right? Between let's call it 57, or I'm sorry, 59.7, and let's call that 83K. So we have this big range here, and we haven't meaningfully broke below that range. In fact, when we take a closer look, we see that there was an SFP that formed here. So it's more like a liquidity sweep. And then we had a run on that liquidity that was built here. And now we haven't invalidated that SFP just yet. But it looks pretty close. Essentially, here's what I think happens next. I really think we hold these lows here. I don't think we breach below this level, at least for now. This level right here, I don't think we breach below that level now. I think we go for a run up, reject off here, and then we puke it all the way down to like an ultimate low, right? And maybe this is where Dom and I like to talk a little bit about Wyckoff accumulation. But this is what I'm expecting. This is what I'm expecting on Bitcoin. And honestly, I'm not in the camp of like predicting like, oh man, like this would happen, over the next, several weeks and months. Right now, I'm only concerned with the next move, the next leg of price. And so where do I feel like the next leg of price will go? Well, we've ran the liquidity at the lows here. And now I expect us to go to at least this, maybe even run some liquidity, right here. And so that's going to be my target right now, is this fair value gap, this breaker block that we have, and we rejected off it. I told you guys about this a few weeks ago, back in early January. Early June. We're talking about that being the first area of interest, the first point of interest. Now we're back at that same level, and the same point of interest is right up here in this fair value gap area. So that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. So with that said, if we're looking at a move higher, then I'm thinking that all of the prices that we see right now are pretty much kind of like deep in value. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at Solana. We talked about Solana a few weeks ago. I basically told you guys that, on a higher time frame, let's look on the 2-month. On the 2-month, we're looking at, we're in a 2-month fair value gap. We're looking like we might form an SFP right here. I told you guys, though, that, hey, look, I'm going to monitor it and see what happens in 7 days on the close. And in about 7 hours or 7.5 hours, we're going to get the close on the monthliness. If we get that close, I'm pretty much going to long Solana. I told you guys that. And so far, it's looking good. Solana has been one of the more stronger coins in the top 3 right now. Looking really good. Ultimately, a target, at least a first target, would be $100. This would be the next target here, $100. But what I would like to see is, some kind of like run on liquidity or something like that. Maybe an SFP of some sort. Maybe even seeing that on the lower time frames would be nice. But ultimately, the target is $100. All right. So that's Sol. Let's see here. What do we have next? Crypto Jones says Sol decoupling here is crazy. Will it hold up when we hit mid 50s? A lot of people have a target for Solana down here at $40. I don't know if that's a target for me. I think that's a bit low, but I'm still holding to my guns. I'd love to see a run on liquidity on Solana. Do I think it just rallies straight from here? I don't think so. It's definitely showing a lot of strength, but I'd love to see it take out. I'd love to see it take out this. I'd love to see it take out liquidity here, right? or maybe even take out liquidity at $60 and just kind of see where we go from there. But yeah, just high time frame top down, like what we're looking at right now. We're in a very key area for Solana. Again, closing 2 month close and is in 7.5 hours. So if we basically close above, if we close above 67.85, or really call it 67.50, if we close above that, we're off to the races on Solana. And I think that would kind of mark the beginning of a change in direction for Solana. We've been going down for 9 months, and I told you guys, last week we talked about this. How we talked about how Solana it was going down for 9 months. July is typically the best performing month for Solana, and we're going into July. So mean reversion, seasonality, whatever you want to call it. I think this would be the beginning of a reversal for Solana if we get that 2 month SFP. All right, what else do we got? What else do we have? What else do we have? So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about this whole this whole Ansem situation. Yes, Solana summer indeed. Crypto Jones. Shout out Crypto Jones for always keeping the chat live and active. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you for that. But let's see here. Let's see here. Cheers, brother. All right. So what else do we want to talk a little bit about? I think that's it for like some of our macro stuff. I think I think that's it for some of our macro stuff. Let's go a little bit to something different. I want to talk about this Ansem situation. So let's look at Ansem the token. Real quick, let me pull that up. I want to spend a couple minutes talking to you guys about this because I think there's something here. I think there's something here. Geez, 145 million market cap, or 142. All right, let's take a look at this. Holy bro, look, I'm trying to zoom out on this chart, bro. I'm trying to zoom out on this chart and like look at that. Look at these candles, bro. Oh my gosh. Just trying to zoom out. All right, here we go. So this is the Ansem token. Obviously, I'm sure you guys know quite a bit about it. You've probably heard it or seen it on the timeline. Just joining. Any thoughts on Lighter Boys? On Lighter Boys, CT has been very silent on the coin and it's ripping. Yeah, Paul, we actually talked about Lighter and gave the full thesis. I think it was last Friday actually. Hit up our boy Rambo, Rambo XBT on Twitter, and you can see his write up. But yeah, we talked about Lighter last week, and it's actually, we called it for higher, and I'm glad to see it's ripping. We'll talk about that a little bit after the interview as well. But back to this Ansem token real quick. So thoughts on the Ansem token. I think Ansem has good intentions for what he's trying to do. I mean, you guys have seen all of the metrics and stuff that has come out, right? Like even just today, he posted a little bit about how all of the airdrops he sent out so far, are equivalent to about $10 million right now. So he's obviously using this as a tool. Ansem knows how to capture attention. Ansem knows how to keep attention. And last cycle, obviously he has the sort of like clout, the cultural mind share. He's obviously kind of CT main character. He's on that arc right now. But I think Ansem has good intentions in that he's trying to re-engineer the behavior of on-chain traders. And he's said it multiple times. He's even said it here. He said, I keep telling y'all, I got y'all, and y'all won't listen. And I think what he's trying to do again with this token is basically give the trenches a little bit of CPR here. Our boy Ika, he actually did a post about Ansem, and underneath this, basically Ansem talks about exactly the thesis, right? He said, "I genuinely believe that there's a way to do this in a net positive way for everyone, bringing new eyes to crypto, onboarding people through something they can also speculate on, giving degens liquidity in the trenches, again near the bottom of a bear market, and then directing this newly gained attention towards solid protocols and founders in crypto doing meaningful things for the industry." So I think that is the overall thesis for what Ansem is trying to do. He's trying to he's trying to garner all of this attention for the Ansem token, and he's trying to direct that attention to the best parts of on chain. And let's see if he's going to be successful. But I definitely think he has. If there's anyone that has a shot of doing something, it would be Ansem himself. He has 1 million followers. He's obviously well known and well respected in the space. He's a great trader. He's been here for a while. So I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm sure that means the Ansem token probably still has higher to go. But it's very interesting that all of this is happening at the very bottom of a bear market. And we've talked about our sub 60K level on Bitcoin. We've talked about the bottom thesis for Solana as well. So yeah, I think Ansem has great intentions, and let's see where it goes. I'll definitely be watching, and hey, if he wants to come on MCG and share the thesis, would be happy to have him. But that's the Ansem kind of take. You guys have a take on that? Top Fumbler, I know. I'm sorry. I know this is a sore topic for you, but I gotta bring it up just for the sake of covering it, and then we can move on. Um, Paul, literally, I had the same exact thought. Ansem is essentially Goku harvesting everyone's energy to deliver the trench revival spirit bomb. I literally think that's exactly what's going on. I like how he's also been kind of like telling people, hey, like stop the vamping, right? Like quit with the PvP. Like just buy Ansem. It's okay to buy it at 100 mil. It's okay to buy it at 300 mil. It's okay to buy it at 50 mil. Like, it's okay to buy things that aren't sub 100K, right? And I think he's trying to re-engineer the way CT and the way some of these degens look. Crypto Jones, where is all this liquidity coming from? Okay, I'm going to tell you exactly where all the liquidity is coming from. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on here. First though, we got it. It's 12:30. Our next interview is going to come up here in the next few minutes. So we gotta go with the housekeeping. All right, let's you already know what we got to do. It's about 135 of us in here so far. It's about 15 minutes into the stream. So I need you guys, everyone here right now, I need you to do two things for me. First, go to @MCG Live. We're here Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time, as you know. Make sure you're hitting the follow button. Make sure you follow the account. Second, I want you to scroll down. Wow, 11.7K. Appreciate y'all. Hyper growth right now. I want you to scroll down, and I want you to go to our very last tweet, and I want you to hit like and retweet. Just like and retweet the stream. Make sure all the homies know that we're live. Make sure that they know that we're here. We're covering everything on chain, and we have some great interviews lined up for today. So, Crypto Jones, where's all this liquidity coming from? Actually, there was a nice post about this by the homie Credible Crypto. Let me actually pull this up. Let me pull this up now, because I think this really outlines, because it's not really like, it's not all just pure liquidity, right? Like, it's actually a bit of supply control involved here. So here's Credible Crypto, an absolute Chad. Should definitely follow him. Great takes on the market. All right, so he basically says that, the same reason Ansem token is running so hard is the exact same reason the greater the consolidation, the greater the expansion is a market truth. What he's saying basically in this tweet here is that what plays out in the market is when a coin is bottomed, weak hands sell off, and then that supply is then bought up by strong hands, people that won't sell. Essentially, the supply is kind of locked to a certain extent, right? And the difference is with the consolidation is that it happens over time. Whereas with tokens like Ansem, tokens that are that are on Pump Fund or some of these new age tokens, all of this consolidation into strong hands can kind of happen inorganically. And that's what he's saying here. He said it ran so fast because over 60% of the entire supply is held by one person, and a large portion of the remaining supply is likely being held by a number of other insider wallets. So I'm not too sure of the exact breakdown of, which wallet holds what, right? So I want to be very tasteful when I'm talking about this. But we've basically seen that, Ansem had a lot of supply in his control. And that's why I think that with Ansem, he knows how to like attract attention. He knows how to keep attention. And he basically controls where Ansem goes for the most part. Like he has a ton of the supply. So it's not really like liquidity coming from anywhere. It's still the same liquidity that's been sloshing around in the market. But there's been a ton of supply that essentially has been cornered in some way, shape, or form. And the little supply that's available on the market, that's what's being bought up. And that's what you call a supply shock. That's why I love supply deflationary dynamics, like deflationary supply shock. I love those types of setups because this is exactly what you see. This is exactly what you see. There's a ton of supply that's cornered. There's not enough to supply to satisfy demand, so price has to accommodate. And in these kind of supply shock scenarios, this is exactly what happens. My God, you just see this candle going up and up and up, and that's exactly what happens. You see this quick repricing to the upside. So that's where liquidity is coming from. It's still the same liquidity that's been in the trenches, but it's just a lot of cornered supply that creates this supply shock to make price go a lot higher. And I think the most entertaining outcome for this, I believe this is at 140 something market cap, and Pump Fund is at about 500 and 600 mil market cap or something like that. So I guess the trenches are betting on basically Ansem flipping Pump Fund. And then you know how Ansem has been trolling Pump Fund for the airdrop for quite some time now. Under everything, he's like, all right, where's the airdrop? Where's the airdrop? Where's the airdrop? And so essentially they're going, the trenches hope that Ansem can then reprice to flip Pump Fund, and then Ansem just do the airdrop himself, right? And that's kind of, going along with Ansem's whole, Solana CTO angle that he's playing right now, which is pretty smart. It's a genius idea, and I know that Ansem gets a lot of hate on the timeline, but I really think that there's something. I think that he has what it takes. I think he has what it takes to do this and for it not to be a rug. Because I mean, a lot of guys, they get blinded by the money. They want to rug instantly, but I mean, he has 60% plus of supply. If he wanted to rug it by now, I think he would have. But yeah, let's see. Crypto Jones says it could end in a disaster if he rugs. The trenches will be dead. Absolutely. If he does rug, the trenches will be dead. But here's the other thing. There's also a reputational risk that comes along with this, right? Like Ansem knows that if he rugs, like his clout, his position on the timeline is absolutely like tarnished for a long time. So I don't think he'll throw away his reputation, because his reputation gets him everything. I mean, you see it down here. His reputation got him the bullpen 5. It got him the market bubble. Like all of these things are possible because he has such a good standing on the timeline. And so, I don't think he's going to sacrifice that for one token. Um, so yeah, I think let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. But in the meantime, we see a lot of great metrics coming out of this. Um, we see a lot of great metrics coming out, surrounding this Ansem token. A lot of them highlighted by Adam Tech. I got a couple posts. I guess the question is, what's his reputation worth? I mean, look, if you have the power to single-handedly turn the corner on the Solana chart, you have the power to single-handedly, turn the corner on chain and in the trenches. I'd assume that his reputation is definitely worth more than any part of the supply that he has. I'm sure Ansem's a smart guy, and he knows that if he tries to think short term with this and ends up rugging it, then that's going to kill his long-term opportunity set, right? Like, you have a million followers, you have a ton of popularity, clout, whatever you want to call it, within CT. You have a lot of sway in the trenches, so you can make more money over time, over the long term, by continuing to have that good reputation rather than throwing it away for a one shot. I mean, yeah, he'll make how many ever millions, but I don't think it'll be worth the backlash that he gets. And here's just to kind of answer that question, Crypto Jones, as far as what is his reputation worth. Ever since Ansem dropped, notice the change in metrics on chain for Pump Fund. Number one, median hold time has been trending upwards from sub 60 seconds in early May to 124 seconds yesterday. So obviously the whole time is now ticking up. That's the first metric that we saw. The second metric, it's bringing volume back to the trenches. Volume is starting to tick up as well, and I hope that Adam can include EZA in these metrics. But that's the next thing. Daily graduations are up, and so that's another metric for the trenches. The other is there was another piece. There was another metric that was going up as well. Maybe I'm missing it. But yeah, there was another metric that was going up as well. But you guys get the point. I mean, Ansem is able to basically single-handedly turn the corner on a lot of this stuff. And we know from the creator, the creator coin meta that happened months ago that basically, this is a really good way of directing attention. You airdrop supply, but I wouldn't classify this as a creator coin. I think it's still a meme. It represents kind of like, it's memifying Ansem's bullish stance on Solana with the whole CTOing Solana narrative. It's memifying his presence on chain. Like, he's been super active, buying tokens. We saw him shout out Squire, and him and Squire, they're going to get together shortly after they were on MCG. I'm quite sure Ansem watches MCG. I'm quite sure. And Ansem, if you're watching, pull up, come on the show. Let's talk about your Ansem thesis, what you're trying to do. And you can bring that here to the MCG audience. But yeah. As you can see here, Adam also says the 7 wallets that received the lion's share of the new Ansem token seem to all have been major holders of the OG Ansem token. Yes, there's 2. All of the 700 wallets that received drops were holding OG Ansem token at some point. So we see that Ansem, he was also kind of playing this angle of let's not vamp, let's not PvP. And so it's interesting that, number one, there was another launch, but the fact that he's, a lot of those that had the other Ansem token, they actually they actually got airdrop. So I think that says something. If I were Pump Fun, I'd pay Ansem not to rug. Yeah, look, I mean, this is the most volume. Obviously, this is affecting the trenches in a positive way. We've seen that from the different from the different metrics that we just went over. So, it definitely is in their best interest, but we'll see. We'll see what they choose to do. We saw off the back of this narrative, though, that this quote unquote creator coin meta has now come back. We see, Cupsy and we saw Scooter. Oh my gosh, Scooter was like, I think he like sold on people's heads, but like he did that like in a totally open way. Anywho, we saw a few like a ton of like CT, whether you want to call them KOLs, influencers, whatever. I hate the word KOL, but we see like a sort of quote unquote meta form on this, and we saw pushback essentially because Ansem is saying like, I don't think this is like I said, I don't think this is a creator coin. I think it's just a meme coin that's being pushed by Ansem. He owns a ton of the supply. He's willing to airdrop that supply to others, but you see like other people like quick to like jump on this narrative and create a quote unquote meta off of it. And what Ansem is saying is like, yo, don't buy the beta. Don't buy the beta. Just buy Ansem. And he even reacted to this, where earlier today he said, is this really what y'all been doing the whole time I've been gone? No wonder no coins went over 100 mil for a year. So yeah, I mean, again, trying to re-engineer the behavior of on-chain traders. But look at this. Look at this. This guy, TJR, I first saw him on Ansem's Market Bubble stream the other day, but essentially there was a TJR token and he basically like sent it completely to zero just the other day. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Best thing that we could do is put our entire focus on just one, the main one.
No, he's gonna rogue it.
Is Ansem.
Oh fuck!
I personally bought
Bro, what's his coin at? What's his coin at? What's his coin at? What's his coin at?
And I plan on helping him make TikToks.
Holy shit!
So that's what happened yesterday. So basically, TJR, he's I didn't know who he was, but apparently he's like this extremely like popular guy on the normie side. Like apparently TJR, he has like a following outside of CT, and he essentially wants to focus on onboarding normies by means of this Ansem coin and again, like Ansem is saying, we can use this in a way to garner attention, right? Like Paul said earlier, kind of Goku harvesting everyone's energy and then directing it towards great projects, directing the volume to the trenches and just onboarding a ton of normies. I mean, meme coins, like he mentioned with Doge, were a really great way to onboard normies. So let's see how that goes. Let's see. What are you guys trading right now? You guys trading majors? Are you positioning in anything? Are you liking anything right now? If there's any projects that you guys want us to go over, just let me know. But let's that's a wrap for the whole Ansem talk. I wanted to go through that. I think that's going to just kind of be the buzz for a while. But I saw another bottom indicator. This guy got zeroed out. He went from like millions to zero ever since 1010. Crazy. But again, another bottom signal to show that this is the bottom is where this type of stuff happens, right? The bottom is where this type of stuff happens. Let's see. What else do I want to look at? Let's look at Met real quick. Met's still looking really good, breaking out of the falling wedge. And honestly, it looks like it's consolidating here. And as soon as Bitcoin decides to wake up, it just, I think we're going to go for higher. So that's what I'm waiting for with Met. I think we're headed higher here very, very soon. So I'd keep an eye on Met. PokerX at 12:30. I thought, yes, still working on some things, trying to get him on. We're pinging him, so just bear with us. Just bear with us here as we try to get him on stream. I know it's about like 15, 20 minutes after our scheduled time, but PokerX, you didn't get the you didn't get the stream link? We should have sent you the stream link, bro. I'm sitting here waiting. Oh, you should have gotten the stream link. Hold on. Let me send it to you in your DM. You should have gotten the stream link. I thought Josh sent it to your email. Apologies for that, bro. Okay. Apologies for that, my bro. Let me send it to you now. There you go. I just sent it to TG. I thought Josh was sending you the I thought Josh sent you the email. We usually send out all guests. There's an email that has all of like the information and everything. It has all the information in there. The stream link, it has what we're going to talk about on stream, all of that good stuff. So we usually send that out to guests. I know we sent out the announcement last night. It usually goes out. But if you didn't get anything, apologies on that, brother. Let's go ahead and I went ahead and sent you the stream link in the TG that we have in the chat that we have. And then and let's see if we can get this show on the road. There we go. All right. So we have Poke Rescue in the waiting room. So let's go ahead and get him up. Poke Rescue, before we get you up, do you mind uploading an image on your I don't know if you're gonna do if you're gonna dox, or if you want to stay anon. If you stay anon, can you maybe just upload the Poke Rescue image to your PFP on the stream? Just kind of makes it better for clips and engagement and distribution, like post the stream. We're gonna clip this up. We're gonna get a full segment out, and we'll get the whole thing going. Chill TRD, you're awesome, bro. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, sorry for the late stream. Sorry for the late start here on the Poker X interview. I didn't expect this, so a little bit of a blunder. We apologize for that, but we do have our boy in the waiting room. Let's go ahead and pull him up here. Bam. Scott, how are you, man? How's everything?
Hey guys, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. Yeah, nobody sent me a link or anything because I've just been hanging out listening to you chat up.
Oh man, dude, I thought Josh. So we're on a quote unquote summer break this week, but technically we're still streaming. So things might have gotten lost in the shuffle there. So I apologize for that. But thanks so much for patiently waiting, and appreciate you joining us here today.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Well, I guess, the best place to start. I mean, we discovered we were talking about you guys on stream. I believe it was last week, and we finally, I think you tweeted out at us, and we're like, hey, let's get these guys on the show. I think what they're building is awesome. So that's what we'll talk about today. But before we get into product, traction, tokenomics, roadmap, vision, and all that good stuff, let's start with you yourself, who you are, your background, and then let's take it from there.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, where to start on that? So I guess one thing is like I'm a real engineer. I live and work in Silicon Valley. I've got a PhD in physics. I don't talk about it much or anything, but I think sometimes it's good to put out there that I do have real credentials. I'm a real person that does real development work. I run my own consulting business, so I help a lot of startups around here develop hardware and firmware. So with that, where PokeRx and Poke Rescue kind of got going was that I've got hobbies on the side, of course, Web3. I love trading the meme coins and doing that stuff. I've also been a collector for a long time, for most of my life, as far as trading cards, baseball cards, Magic the Gathering, that kind of thing, and especially Pokemon now. Sitting here doing a bunch of work for some clients and integrating AI into their systems, and at the same time really ramping up with collector crypt and doing Pokemon trading and stuff. So I was like, well, I'm spending too much time doing that on the personal stuff and neglecting some of my clients. So why not throw some AI at it and start trying to automate my hobby a little bit, so it takes a little less of my time during the day. And as I dug deeper into that, I was discovering that this works really, really well, like really well. So why not try to spread it a little further, turn it into a real business and a real project, and that's how Poke Rescue kind of got started. So that's a little bit about me and a little bit of how this kind of got kickstarted.
Got it. Got it. Nice. So this started out as a hobby, and that's kind of I like that actually, because crypto for many of us started out as a hobby, and it kind of formed into this thing that we wanted to get involved with more deeply. And it looks like it was something similar for you. So talk to us a little bit about exactly what you're building, and then we'll kind of take it from there.
Yeah, so so what I'm building is the bot started off with basically just looking for hot deals on Pokemon cards. So you see the same type of liquidity events happening with the Pokemon NFT stuff as you do with standard NFTs and meme coins and things. So there are times when people want to dump out and move their money over to other things instantly, like Ansem's gathering the mind share right now. So a lot of people are selling various things and moving that out. But with the shift in the markets for real world assets, is these things do have underlying value. We all love our NFTs and we love that they're quote unquote worth something. But fundamentally, where's the value in those? There's not something that I can go take my NFT to a card show and get cash from somebody and hand it to them. But with real world assets, you can do that. So if you build a system that looks for these deals, like people looking for liquidity events and things, and have it check on, we have a lot of data streams that AI is using now to check on actual value of these things. So we're monitoring things going up and down in price, and going out and buying these things when people are wanting to sell them, and then after that we try to flip and resell, and then we'll talk about holder perks and things in a bit, but that's the basis of how this got started and what we were building there. From that, you start branching out. So okay, we want to look at the market and see when people are trying to sell things and grab them before anybody else, and we're the fastest on that, by the way, like by far, using some intelligence and being able to purchase things very quickly. There's others out there that have been trying to catch up, and I see them, but we're really, really fast. The last level of us to get faster is to actually do in block transactions, which we can do, but you lose a little bit of intelligence on that. So, but anyway, so we're looking for hot deals, and then from that stems out to, well, then how are we going to sell these things and make money off of them? So we, using the marketplaces, we started out mostly with Magic Eden, then Collector Crypt, upgraded their infrastructure. So we moved over and we mostly, sell on Collector Crypt, and then, but realistically, is you don't need all of those guys. We love Collector Crypt. We're building on the backs of giants and the shoulders of giants. So I don't want to sound like I'm bashing them or anything, but like all of this stuff can be built in our own. So why not build our own marketplace? So we did. We built a marketplace, and in that marketplace, you can buy and sell Collector Crypt cards. You can buy and sell our cards that are in our vault. With this, there's also a lot of people that are enjoying the pack ripping. So, hey, why not build our own pack ripping machine? So we do that, and that allows people to be able to open packs and possibly get cards that we've put into our vault that we've gotten deals on. And with that, we buy these cards, we get deals on everything. Like we're rarely buying anything at market price, because that's just the goal of it. We've got something coming up called the Grail Vault, where we'll buy things at market price. But since we're getting these at good deals, we can, in our pack machine, we can offer the buybacks to be a lot higher than most everybody else. Like, so right now, we're doing 95% buyback on the insured value. And if you own a whole bunch of Poke RX, you actually can, get higher buyback values. So we'll walk down the perks later. But so we're just building out an ecosystem built around this. So we've got automated buying and selling. We've got a marketplace where users can go in and buy our cards, or they can list and sell their own cards, or they can even buy collector's crypts. You can rip packs. And then, so that's kind of where it's sitting right now.
Wow. So there was a lot there. There was a lot there. So you talked about kind of, you talked about kind of like doing this automated, was it an automated scan of all these cards and trying to get them at a good value? Can you break that part of this down? I think that's the most interesting part of this. Can you break that down for me one more time?
Yeah, so we've got basically two major hooks on how we sort for hot deals. So right now we've got a fire hose of data that comes in off of WebSocket. So we're seeing these things, as someone does a transaction on the chain to say that they're going to list their card for sale. We see that very quickly. I think it's 100 milliseconds for a standard transaction that I'm seeing them right now. So within 100 milliseconds, we see a card that's going to go for sale. And
is that for sale? Is that for sale on any marketplace, or is it just on a collector crypt marketplace? Like, where is that sale being listed?
Yeah, so any would be the answer to that. So as of right now, any on Solana blockchain, and then for alpha hints and things, we are going to move beyond Solana blockchain as well. So this won't just be Solana in the future. Our coin will always be Solana though. So everything's going to go back home to Poke RX.
Wow. But please continue your thought. That's amazing.
Yeah. So we've got two streams. So one's the WebSocket, just a fire hose of data. Like any of these assets that get listed for sale, we know about it like instantly. Not instantly, but 100 milliseconds or so. There's one upgrade we're working on where we can go faster. We can see in-block transactions, so we can see them before they're built and sent out. But right now we're at 100 milliseconds. We have the AI set up to be able to do different versions of analysis of this. So if it's a super hot deal, it'll just pull the trigger immediately, and we'll get it within a block of being listed. If it's a borderline deal and we look at a little bit of our cached data that we have for what is the value of the asset, we can pull the trigger pretty quick, but we'll do a little analysis there. We don't want to get stuck with a card that's not worth what the insured value says it is. That happens a lot actually. And then if it's a more of a borderline one, we go to a deep AI analysis, and the deep AI analysis will take us 30 to 60 seconds, but we pull so much data, and we have the AI step up, and instead of using the cheaper levels of AI, like Haiku or an earlier version of Opus or something, we step it up, and we'll spend the credits on using a deep AI analysis to understand what's the market trend for this look like. And it's fun because the mind share changes on which Pokemon is popular at the time. So is this week, is it Charizard or is it Slowbro? And it changes. And we monitor all of that. So we look out there and we see the socials and we know what's going on. And it's pretty cool to deep dive so deep into a hobby that's fun to do and to trade and collect these cards, but at the same time treat it like a financial instrument, moving it around.
Wow. So there's a lot to dig into here. So basically there's a few different revenue streams. And kind of the main one that you mentioned was this AI that monitors all the listings that happen on Solana. You mentioned, at some point you're going to look even beyond Solana, and you basically can snipe essentially. You can snipe these.
The sniper side, yeah, definitely. And then I wanted to wrap up that real quick. Was the other main part of it is we do deep scans as well. So for the sniper side, someone has to actively change the listing or put it up. But prices change over time, and people just leave stale old listings up. So we do deep scans periodically and check all the tens of thousands of cards for sale out there all the time, and we check them periodically and then go back and review as well. So sometimes you'll see a flurry of buys happen. You can watch our our Twitter and see that, or our X, and you'll see if like, we get our battle cards pop up and says a Pokemon has appeared. That means we bought a card. And sometimes you'll see a flurry of those. And the flurry is either one of two things: somebody dumping a bunch of cards, which happens once a week or so. We see somebody like exiting. And the other one is we do a deep scan and we find a whole bunch of deals just because the market changed.
Got it. Okay. So just for the audience sake, to summarize, so you have this AI that kind of scans. A part of it is kind of sniping. You're looking for deals as soon as looking for cards as soon as they get listed. You have this sort of this back end a model that kind of allows the AI to make sure that these things are priced appropriately, and then you have these deep scans that you do to also scan the marketplaces for other deals that could be popping up. Now, that's and then you mentioned also people can come to your site, they can rip packs. There's a marketplace there, and you mentioned that you guys are building on top of Collector Crypt. But so with all of that said, like what sort of traction have you seen so far? I'd assume, there's revenue, there's amount of cards that you guys have bought, how many packs are being ripped, how much volume is the marketplace generating. So wherever you'd like to start there.
Yeah. So, we turned the AI live in April. And by live, I mean, I let it actually like fully buy and sell on its own. I'd been monitoring it for a while on my own before then, but, in April, we turned it on, instantly went revenue positive. Like it wasn't losing money. So this is one of the coolest business ventures I've ever been on is the fact that we're positive cash flow already, like from day one. Well, not day one, from day one of me turning the AI on. Prior to that, I did have to put in personal funds to buy some things. But other than that, we turn the AI on and it's making money. So we're flipping cards. So we buy and sell cards. We're making a good amount of money then. We tie all of this back, to the token, which we'll talk about token economics in a bit. But we tie this back to the token. So we use a portion of the profits from this to buy the token. And as the card flips started ramping up, the token trading started ramping up, and we take fees from the token trading and again put it back into the ecosystem. The trading fees from the token go back to buy more of the token and to buy more cards. So it's a nice positive feedback loop there. And then the same with the pack ripping. So any profits from the pack ripping goes back to buy the token as well. So April, we turned it on. In May, we saw a 6x gain. So the amount of money we made in April, in May was 6 times that. And then we're wrapping up June today. We've doubled again in June. And I've spent a lot of time in June actually, working on infrastructure because everything's working well. So I'm going back and cleaning things up, making it faster. And then doing things like you're showing on your screen now is we didn't announce this, but we did a full refresh of the website last week and turned it live yesterday. But so it's fully announced right now. Go take a look at our pretty new website. It looks a little more professional, I think it did before. We tried to have fun before and make it look Pokemon, but yeah. So right now we're about a 2x from May, and I have not, we've started the sprint for the software to integrate more than Solana blockchain, but that's not ready for release yet. So when that happens, I'm estimating we should 2x it revenue again because we'll have access to a lot more real world assets, and I don't think. I don't think a lot of the deals have been squeaked out of those other systems yet, those other chains. So we'll probably do a flurry of buys on that.
So you guys are growing, like your growth is crazy. Like how much have you made so far in just gross profit?
Let's see.
I don't know if you know offhand.
I'm hesitant to say an actual number. We also did a huge amount of legal review this weekend. So I spent Saturday and Sunday doing nothing but legal work. So we are pushing towards middle of the way to 6 figures now. So we're in the mid 5-figure range.
Wow, very nice. And this is just turned on for you said since April.
Yeah. Around mid-April, I got the AI turned fully on.
Wow. So this is basically just a couple months live. Okay, mid
Yeah,
and
and if you've got
almost to
a
the point.
if you click on about there on the website, and then you can go to view buybacks, the red button, and you can see there how much of the coin has been bought and how much we've spent there, and you can kind of correlate that back to what our profits look like. And after
Got
I
it.
used to have this plotted on a PokeRx chart, but after legal review this weekend, they said I can't tie it to the price because I'm not. It's a meme coin. We're not supposed to tie it. So I know some of you used to love that chart, but this is what we came up with beyond that. So we can see live when the coin is bought back. So, and then how much we've spent and how much we've bought back. So we've bought back like 257 million of the coins. Of that, 210 was burnt. And I think the other 47 million went to team activities and things. But yeah, so we've bought back, a quarter of the original supply already.
Wow, a quarter so far. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. I know you wanted to I know you wanted to kind of talk about tokenomics as well. We talked about the buybacks, but were there other incentives that you wanted to talk about when it comes to tokenomics?
Yeah, so let's go, you can click back to the main page or hit about again. I think I've got it in both places. And scroll down. We've got the holder perks there. Go ahead and refresh your. No, you're good. You got the latest one. I did a rebuild this morning. So, so the tokenomics of it essentially is all profits go back to the ecosystem. So we've got any profits coming in, 50% of those go back to just buying more cards because we want more inventory, both for the pack machine and for flipping. So one of the cool things about the buying and the pack machine is you guys have seen, if any of you out there are ripping on Collector Crypt, you'll see at times you'll click it and they won't let you just buy a pack because their inventory management is dealing with it. So there's a supply chain crunch going on in the TCG world right now. There's just not enough out there. The demand is so high that even people like Collector Crypt are having trouble running their machines because they keep running out of inventory. So our AI bot actually balances that a little bit by picking and choosing which cards it's going to just instantly try to sell on the market versus putting it in the pack machine. So if you see us buy a card, you might be able to go to the pack machine and get it or whatever. So 50% of all profits go to buying more cards. 25% of the profits go to team activities, which pays for website hosting, AI stuff, and all legal fees and things. So and as well as me making a little money off of it when I can. And then 25% is the real fun part, is that goes to buying the coin, PokeRX, and it buys it. Thus far, we've only burnt that. The only two mechanisms set up for it is we could have the community suggest to use the coin to buy like a Grail card or something. And if you join our Whale Lord Club, you can have direct access to me and have more say in that. But right now, we're just burning it. So we're burning the coin whenever. And if you guys want, we'll burn some live today. But so that's the tokenomics. 50% of all profits buy cards, 25% burns coins, and 25% goes to running the business.
Nice, nice. Man, I gotta say, you built something absolutely incredible here. I know this is more like this is Pokemon focus. Do you ever feel like turning this on for other collections like One Piece or Yu-Gi-Oh, for example?
So right now we actually started out with Pokemon, and we turned on One Piece pretty quick. And then I'm going to speak here. It's not financial advice or anything. What I saw in the One Piece market was a massive amount of volatility. We got stuck in a couple cards. It bought like a couple like Grail level cards because it was like, wow, these are super great deals. And then the market moved around too quick. So we slowed down the One Piece stuff, but that can be turned on immediately again. Maybe when it stabilizes, or if we can dial in the AI to be a little more careful, because it just sees something, it thinks like there's movement in a hot deal, and it'll go for it. So One Piece is turned on immediately. In our marketplace, if you go and buy just an actual Collector Crypt level of card, you can actually get all of them right now. So the sports and everything are available in our marketplace. but the AI is not buying those yet. So the infrastructure is there. I can turn on One Piece immediately. Adding other collection styles and stuff wouldn't take much time. So if I wanted to, say this week, I probably should have done it last week, but let's say this week I turned on for soccer because World Cup's going on. It would take me all of like 4 hours to go through and edit the code to make sure it does it properly. So we can build that out. One of the ideas is to maybe move beyond calling this Poke Rescue and calling it like TCG Rescue or something like that. So we can branch out, but we can reskin and add any of this later. Beyond that, fun expansion in the markets and stuff is the way that Magic Eden has been running lately. I used to be a big supporter of them and use their site a lot. It was, the coolest, funnest kind of place to be in the NFT space for a long time. But they're changing business, direction. Let's just say that. So that kind of bothered me. So I've already built up an NFT marketplace as well. So if we ever want to turn this all on and move to NFT, or at least, open a marketplace for that, it's ready to go. If you dig through our links carefully, you'll see it's actually there and live. I won't let people buy and list yet, but it's available. So we can expand to all the markets, not a problem.
Wow. Okay. So dominating Pokemon, you have the Pokemon market, and you're poised to make the adjustment to expand elsewhere. That's awesome. I wanted to just talk about a high level real quick, because you were talking about the volatility within the One Piece market. What does the TCG landscape look like? Is it heavily geared toward Pokemon cards? Are people even, I know at some points, people with the interest kind of turn towards One Piece, but are there other collections? Are there newer markets opening up? What's the growth of this TCG market looking like? What are some thoughts from your side as far as, what you see, since this was your hobby in the first place?
Yeah, so I think it's solid and healthy. I think we are seeing a little bit of viral expansion here and there, which is fine. But for a globally known brand like this to be able to move into Web3 and not actually be tied to it, like Nintendo doesn't have to support the buying and selling of Pokemon cards on blockchain. They don't have to ever say that, but we can do it, is the thing. So it's no different than going to a card show and buying and selling assets. So that market has been strong for a long time. And we're going a little more viral now with Pokemon, getting a lot more mind share. So that's certainly happening. And with that, I think more markets can open up. So we see One Piece. I personally, I didn't know much about One Piece, and really didn't know there was TCG involved with it until fairly recently, in the past year. So okay, One Piece jumps in, and it's grabbing quite a bit of mind share. People are gathering up product now, and I think you'll see it out there a lot more as the collections get purchased up and they try to start moving them. So with that, I think we're also seeing, I see a Zuki out there, so that's a really cool one, starting in Web3 and then moving to TCG, and having a Web3 audience try to reach out and gain collectibles share out in the real world. So Azuki is going to be cool. And then I think there's space for all kinds of other stuff. Me personally, I started out long ago doing baseball cards. I was huge into that through a lot of my life, and then I was also into Magic the Gathering, which I played a lot. So most of my Magic cards from back in the day would not be very high grades, but had the wonderful Moxes and Black Lotuses and stuff from back then. So we're seeing a little bit ramp up in sports. That's pushing a little more. And then the other card games are certainly going to ramp up. And then like I said, there's space for more. It's a good, pleasant industry. You're going to see bad actors pop up and try to flood on timelines and things, but I think go to a card show. The attitudes at the card show are generally people having fun, and that's just great for all of us. And if we're tying fun back to Web3, then let's kill this PvP crap. And Caps here says Naruto's coming, so boom, yeah, Naruto. Let's jump in. Throw Naruto in the mix. And let's all enjoy it and have fun. people will be out there, and anytime money's involved, attitudes and things can go sour. But the reality of this stuff's based in fun, so let's stick with it.
Absolutely. Um, Another question that I saw in the chat here was a really good question. The cards that you do buy, are they held by you or is it sent somewhere else?
So they're held by the wallets that the business has the keys to, and then those are in different places for sale. So some of them are for sale on Collector Crypt. So we put it directly on their market, and you'll see us out there on there, and we have the links on our X anytime we buy a card. Sometimes you'll see on our X, you'll see a link that goes to the Poke Rescue market. Now there you can actually buy the card directly from us on the market, or you can get it in a pack. So if it's on Poke Rescue, it's both. It's for sale and it's in the pack machine. So that's something kind of unique we do. This popped up a little bit. We kept having we had a couple Mimikyu cards in the machine, and somebody really just wanted to buy them. And I wanted to offer that, so we did it. We figured out a way to be able to have the cards for sale and in the pack machine at the same time.
Got it. Got it. Okay, awesome.
And then the actual physical
Mhm.
cards, if Crypto Jones is referring to that, each NFT has a trait on them that tells you what vault they're in. So it could be in a PSA vault, it could be in Omni Vault, it could be in Collector Crypt's actual vault. So the actual physical cards are staying within the Collector Crypt ecosystem. We've considered doing our own physical vault, but that's a whole other task. And Collector Crypt's done it so well, we don't want to necessarily be a competitor on that. But if it ever comes down to like we've ran into a couple opportunities where some very large whale holders of TCG collectibles that are not in Web3 and don't understand Web3 have contacted us. So we'll either work with Collector Crypt to do that, or maybe start open our own vault. The legal framework's probably easier to stay with Collector Crypt, but you never know how businesses move.
So you guys haven't really had like much contact with the Collector Crypt team?
Oh yeah, I chat with them quite a bit. They early on they were more of a supporter. Like when we opened up our own pack machine, they were like, well, we can't tweet about that. So, because that's
Yeah.
competing, of course. And I'm like, yeah, guys, I'm sorry, but I wanted a place to put our cards directly into a machine. Yeah, like, I chat open with them. I'm in, their Collector Crypt club where you got to own the NFT to be a part of it. So I get in there, and we're all nice with each other, and it's cool. We have a good time. I support them as often as I can, if you guys can't tell. So.
Got it. Got it. And a quick question I had about the AI model that you're using. Like what model are you using? Like, as far as like, paying for inference, is it an agent, or like how is that AI structured?
Yeah, so it's we're using Claude, I think, at the moment for the deep analysis. We're using like Opus 4.8. So so Claude Opus 4.8. The agent is all running on backend, and then it runs on various piles and piles of scripts of skills that we've created for the agent. So that's sides on the buying and selling, where we use the highest level of Claude we're able to use on that. And then for other stuff, for the fun things, when we do tweets or battle cards and things like that, it's just a simple like Claude haiku that's been dialed in over the few months to make it at least feel real. I know we've had quite a few users. I sit there and watch them and I have a conversation with it, and the conversation feels real, which is scary. And then we've had some people kind of get a little cranky when they find out they were having a chat with AI. So it's kind of fun. Like the AI is sitting there having an actual conversation about like BGS versus PSA and Charizard versus Squirtle or something, and people think they're chatting with a human, and it's actually not. And I'm proud of that, because I've spent a lot of time working on the prompts to make that feel as real as possible.
Right. Awesome. And I know you mentioned that with the marketplace, you're kind of competing with Collector Crypt, but that aside, is there anyone else like building something like this? Like, even if they're not using AI in it, like, is there anyone else? Is there any competition that you guys have?
Yeah, I see little bits and pieces popping up here and there. So there's certainly competition out there. One example is for a long time without even trying, like we were just sniping anything that came up. There was no problem. And then all of a sudden one day I noticed like we were missing about 50% of our snipes, and I was like, whoa, what's going on here? So somebody else was out there, figuring it out, and decided to spin up their own thing and start sniping. So I looked into it, and we sped things up quite a bit. There was some back end infrastructure to change and make that a lot faster. It's really hard to beat us now on that. But I did notice those other entities that were doing that. They were also kind of blind sniping. They were grabbing things that maybe weren't the best value and stuff. So our intelligence kind of saves us there. So sometimes you pay for intelligence with time. But there's other places popping up. There's pack ripping gotcha machines popping up all over the place. Many of them they directly use collector crypts machines, so they're just clones of their machines, which is awesome. Put another skin on somebody else's machine. Our machine uses our own inventory, so we're a little different there. With that, we don't have $20,000 Grail cards in there yet, but our machine runs and it gives you a good value. So, but certainly lots of competition out there. We're nimble. We can change things in a day and beat somebody out if we need to.
Got it. Yeah, it definitely sounds like you have something a pretty flexible business and a pretty open mind, like open to changing things, adding new features, new markets, and things of that nature. So that's really good to see. I mean, talk to me about where this is all headed. So you have this wonderful product. You're growing at an amazing rate. You're generating revenue pretty much from the time you turned on your AI model, and even with competition coming around, you found a way to kind of stay ahead. Where is this all headed? Where is this all going?
I think that where it's all going is just to mainly stay nimble, and see where the markets are going and what people want, and just continuously build as we go and make sure it all works fine. Our website's still technically in beta right now, but everything works. But if you go in there and play with it and you find something that's not working, or if you want to add a feature or something, I'm easy to get a hold of. And I've got in my Whale Lord chat, I've got like 20 people in there. You can ask any one of those, how responsive we are on changing things. Like they'll be like, hey, let's try this new feature, and I'll go out there and I'll build it and we'll make it happen. So one of the things that we're looking at right now that I think is unique, pretty sure it's unique, is what if you wanted to put your packs into, or your cards into a machine and have those be in the packs? Kind of like, I don't want to use a word I might not use, but like, so you put your card into the machine. So you've got a $500 Charizard that you want to put in the machine and just have it maybe sit there and generate revenue for you. So every time that card is pulled in a pack, if it's kept, then you just get paid out. Or if it's sold back, then you get a portion of the fees that were earned on that during the sellback. So we're going to add that feature. I've got to work a little bit on the legal side because we do have to like take custody of the NFT rather than leave it in your wallet. So, so I got to work that out. But like that's I think going to be cool and huge. Another one that we've already added in the market is you can actually auction your cards. I think there's very, very minimal of that out there as far as auctioning the Pokemon TCGs, Web3 stuff. So beyond that, like we'd mentioned earlier, we were looking into. Sorry, I'm getting a call here. Okay, yeah. So we're moving beyond just Solana blockchain. So that's going to be amazing to add those features in, and then a lot of other fun stuff we're just going to add. So a big part of Pokemon and baseball cards and stuff is the collector side of it. Me personally, I'm like a completist. I like to own full sets of things. So we're adding, and there's a link up here called Dex Registry on the page. We're going to add in a Dex Registry, and you guys can collect and build sets and compete against each other. There's going to be leaderboards on here, and we will give you prizes for being the top of the leaderboard. Maybe we do, PSA does this, and they do the set registry rewards and awards, and you're like, best set of the year and stuff. And we're going to add those features and add collecting funness to this. And I think there will be fun and competition and prizes and things for that too.
So you mentioned that you talked a little bit about cross chain, and I think this kind of directly this directly links to my next question, as well as this question from Crypto Jones. Any partnerships or integrations that interest you? I mean, what's the benefit of going cross chain?
So benefit of cross chain is we want to be able to touch all real world assets. So let's not just be chain constricted, because you go to a card show right now and buy a Pokemon card from somebody. They're not going to be like, well, I'm not selling that to you because you're using Visa credit card instead of MasterCard. There used to be, back in the day, there'd be issues with that, but not so much anymore. But like, just to try to give you an example of why go cross chain. So one is, continuous expansion. So we want to continue to grow. If I can do a 2x in July again, then this is amazing. And one of the ways to do that is to go cross chain. Go multi-chain is the word. Cross chain, I'll let that leak. We are also going to try to do actual cross chain. So if you want to trade a card that's on Solana right now, but you prefer to work on Polygon, we're working on letting you do that. But that's going to take me a bit. But that's the reason to go multi-chain, is just why limit yourself to one chain when these cards are just out there. They're actual real world assets. So let's make it available, all cards available to everyone.
Got it. I never realized that, that there were, TCG opportunities on other chains. I mean, from everything that I've seen, Collector Crypt is on Solana. Some of the other more prominent TCG projects are all on Solana. So I never even realized that there were opportunities, beyond. So that's.
Polygon has a pretty large setup, actually. So we really want to get into Polygon. Really? As of 2 months ago, the Polygon was actually, I think, 3 times the market size of Solana, but that has changed now. I think they're about even. So Solana is definitely ramping up and becoming the winner at the moment. But I think Polygon people will start fighting back, and I think those will probably just be neck and neck for a while. So why stick with Solana and only touch roughly half the market? Let's do them all. We'll go over to Polygon as well.
Wow, I would have never guessed Polygon had TCG projects and stuff built on it. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, good eye for
no matter what chain that our TCG stuff is working on, the profits will always flow back to doing buybacks for PokeRx on Solana. That's not going to change. So the ecosystem will always be built on that coin.
Looking for opportunity elsewhere, but still flowing, still making sure value flows back to the token. That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, this has been a pretty exciting conversation. I mean, definitely. I know the community, they've been talking to us about this. A few guys that I follow and that follow me, they've been really excited about this interview, and I'm really happy with how this conversation played out. Again, apologies for the little bit of a mix up there at the beginning, but it's been an absolute pleasure getting to know what you're building and what you're building toward. I mean, anything that you saw or that you wanted to talk about that we haven't talked about yet? I know there was a few things that you wanted to make sure we mentioned, so I want to make sure we cover everything.
Let me look through my list here. Got all of that. We've talked tokenomics enough. Just there's a lot of incentives for holding the coin. So just if you scroll down the incentives there, and if anybody can go out there and take a look, you're just holding the meme coin gives you incentives. It gives you percentages off the marketplace. If you go buy a card on our market and you own enough for the PokeRx, you'll just get 1% off. If you're opening packs on our website, base buyback for us is 95%. And like I said earlier, we're able to go that high because we get the cards at low cost. But if you own enough coins, like if you own 4 million coins, the buyback goes up. We'll do 97% if you own 4 million PokeRx. So there's lots of incentives out there, for the coin. We're burning all the time. So I was going to do it live, but we've ran a little long here. So after this, I'm going to burn 5 million coins. So you guys can see that and, tweet it out and stuff. That'll be a fun Friday. It's Tuesday now. Fun Tuesday thing. My days are mixed up.
No, you're good.
Beyond that, I think we've pretty much hit everything, and I appreciate the time. I'm really trying to be honorable in this and run this as a real business and be, stand up to my word and the way this is set up. So I think early users are finding that true. And like I said, I'm a real person. I'm a real engineer, and we're gonna run this properly. This is, it's early. We're making a little money here, and we're having a whole lot of fun. And I'm having a blast, and I really appreciate doing a live interview with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's for your there's three of us. It's myself, Josh, and Dom. And so usually there'd be two of us, but again, we have our summer break this week. We actually weren't going to do any streams this week, but the community really wanted us to get you guys on. So I'm like, all right, let's get PokeRx on Tuesday, and I'll just solo stream it. So I'm here by myself with no engineering support. So but I do have two questions before we let you go. The first, you said that you're adamant about running this as a business. You want to go put your best foot forward. One question I had on that, we've seen on Pump Fun where these on-chain startups, if you will, they go to an ace round. If there's a liquidity event, or or if you want to raise capital to scale further, then that token to equity model kind of aligns your early community, and essentially allows them to be on the cap table through this safe agreement that MetalX has with these ace rounds. So I wanted to know if that was something you were thinking about, open to, have considered, or even, I know you have your kind of whale chat, quote unquote. I don't know if they've talked about that with you before, but you can let me know.
Yeah, so a few things with that. We have maybe a month or so ago, a pretty big Web3 entity had reached out to us and talk about investing into us and using our systems for some of their stuff. So we've had some of these chats already. So that's out there. What would probably happen is the token itself is a meme coin. And we've got to keep it that way. It can't be a security for the company. But what could happen is we can give holder, rewards or incentives. So if you hold the coin, you may then be able to get early access to a roll-up investment or something. So if we go the route of actually raising capital to push this further, which would realistically just be an asset buy, we would just need a lot more cards and maybe some more manpower to expand more, because otherwise we're a profitable business. We don't need to get too much investment money. But the coin itself has to stay a meme coin. That's the way that's set up legally. But one of the perks and benefits of holding the coin is you would probably have access to being able to be a qualified investor to be able to take part of a funding round or something and get in early that way. So we would definitely help out our people if we, and early users and owners, if we deal to go that route.
Got it. No, that's a really great point. I mean, you guys are already profitable. You're already, your business is already growing at such a fast pace. So not really much of a need to raise capital, but it's good again that you have that value accrual to your token.
Yeah, there's reasons to raise capital. Like I've got these, TCG whales that own massive in collections and they don't want to touch Web3. So, there might need to be some type of deal to get their multi-million-dollar collection into the system. And, maybe I need to raise capital to pull that off, which would be probably some type of deal with them where they get to invest in the company or something as well. So there are certainly reasons to get funding to be able to expand. But, right now we're running pretty good and we're not looking for small investment. So, yeah.
So you have users or holders that aren't Web3 native at all. Like they just like this because of the TCG aspect.
Yeah, the TCG aspect. And I have in my personal community of people that I know throughout my career and life and where I live. I'm out here in Silicon Valley, so you can imagine what's running around here in people's vaults. But at the same time scared of trying to tie their collection to, scary crypto,
Right.
there's still so many people out there that are just afraid of it. So,
Yeah, we have a bad rep. There's no doubting that. We have a
yeah.
bad rep.
I think this movement into real world assets is going to change a lot of that, though. I've been waiting for it
Really?
for years. I have a note in one of my notebooks from 2013 that basically describes what's going on in the system right now. And my note at the end of it was, "Can't do it, not legal. SEC would kick my ass." And that's changed now. So we're running. I think we're gonna see the crypto world and NFTs really become something real, and everyday users are going to start using them and they won't even know it.
Really? So give me the thesis on that then. That was really, I know I want to respect your time here. So if I'm keeping you too long, just let me know. But that was really interesting what you said at the end. You said you've had a thesis on this since 2013. You've had it written down, but the legal side was the barrier. How does RWAs, how does TCG, how does that kind of reshape the way people think about crypto?
I think what it's going to find is whenever somebody wants to move an asset easily, especially if you're let's say you're a car dealer and you want to move an asset from your car lot to somebody else's. There's a legal framework in place to do that, but like the movement of real world assets on the blockchain can smooth that and make that just happen so quickly. So we're going to start to see the flow of buying and selling of goods, the friction to that flow go to nothing. We can move a million Solana from me to you right now, and it costs pennies. Like to move that amount of stuff so easily has never happened before, and we're doing it right now, and we're seeing it really ramp up in collectibles industry, and it's amazing. I think the ability to move a Charizard from me to you, up until the past few months would have been nearly impossible. Like you'd have to find me on eBay, and then we've got all that problem with shipping and all that stuff. Now we can move it no problem. So this is going to open up into all kinds of markets. We're seeing it already. We see it in watches. I think there's people doing it with like whiskey and stuff too, which I might get into. But the wine industry will probably start tying into it in these things. It's really going to open up the flow of the movement of real world physical assets that are worth money. And as we move further into an AI based society and everything online and digital, real world assets are going to be the thing that keeps us human. We can move this card around and have fun and touch it, and it's real. So it might feel a little fake to new users at first to move an NFT around because you don't actually have the card in hand, but you can get it in hand. And Collector Crypt has been fantastic on that. Like I've taken a ton of these cards in and put them in my kids' collection. And those are going to sit there for 20, 30 years in a box, but you can get access to the card, the actual physical card, within a week, 1 to 2 weeks usually. So you can move this thing around and then you can finally take it in hand and keep it forever. So
wow,
find the forever home. Our original thesis, we're an adoption center. So.
Nice. Well, this has been a fantastic interview. Thank you so much for joining us here today. And I know you're working on so many different things. So as you have updates, as you grow further, as the business expands, feel free to come back on, share some updates with us, with the community as well. We'd be happy to have you back.
Yeah, I'd be happy to come back, and I think let's check in again in 30 to 60 days, and anytime I have like a major event to happen, I'll ping you guys and let you know that, hey, we're launching Polygon or something, and we'll come chat about it. So.
Sounds good. Perfect. Well, looking forward to it. But outside of that, wishing you the best as you continue to build, and you did an absolutely fantastic job. So all the best in the future.
All right, thanks a lot.
No problem. Take care. Have a good one. Thanks for joining. All righty. Ladies and gentlemen, what an interview. Yeah, I gotta say, I really, really love that interview. Let's real quick take a look at the chart, yeah? Let's get some context here. because we talked about this last week. We talked about PokeRx last week, and it was about like here. It was about like somewhere here, and then it just started to shoot up literally as we're talking about it on the interview, or not on the interview, on the stream last week. But yeah, Maru, I love this interview as well. It's a very simple business model, right? Very, very simple. You have an AI that monitors all of the listings, all of the card listings, and basically you have this kind of arbitrage that you're able to, kind of snipe these listings and essentially make a profit. He's turned a profit ever since he turned the AI on back in mid-April. And then it's been growing. They've bought back a quarter of the supply. Even if he goes, to other chains, I was surprised to hear that Polygon was, what has a huge kind of TCG community. And I'm glad to see that he's so nimble in his business, in that he'd be willing to kind of move to where the consumers are. And, it's good to see that, he's nimble, he's flexible, he's willing to change. But at the same time, he has a successful business. He doesn't have like a dire need for capital, but there's some things that when he wants to scale, maybe he'll have to raise, and he'll still give his earliest supporters access to that. So yeah, look, I love what he's doing. I love PokeRx. It's a great protocol. Very good, very clean numbers, growth wise, revenue wise. I love the NFT use case. Yeah, great project. I gotta give him hats off, and apologies, guys. Once again, I'm kind of soloing stream today, so that was a little bit of a rougher start usually to the interviews. Usually it's much smoother than that. But your boy's kind of by himself today, so this is what happens when you give Chill the keys. But yes, all the holders incentives as well. Not only like discounts and stuff like that, but they get, like Caps here says, they get to rip free packs. Like there's a lot. And that's something that I mentioned yesterday in a tweet, right? Like I said that, it makes sense for a lot of utility projects to go this sort of like ace round direction, but it's not going to make sense for everyone, right? Like it depends on what's the structure of the business, what's the utility. Like, it obviously that won't make sense for something like a VVV, like where it's like, stake to, a stake to do the utility is more so in staking the token. So obviously that doesn't really like something with true utility that doesn't really add any user friction and any needless user friction. That's kind of where ace rounds aren't needed. If you just have, token, it has solid utility, it's being used in a certain way, then bam, it doesn't really need that ace round component unless there are at some point maybe you want to raise and give your access, your community early access. But yeah, I'd say that it doesn't really apply to projects like this one. I think this one has pretty much everything that it needs. I mean, the incentives are aligned and that value is flowing back to the token, right? And he's already said it doesn't matter if they go to another blockchain. It doesn't matter if they turn on the AI for other markets like One Piece or sports cards or whatever. He said it doesn't matter. It's all going to flow back to the token. So I think I like that. Very simple. And this is what I like about, setups. Very clean setups. It's not convoluted. It's not confusing. It's not complicated. It's just very simple and clean. You have a couple incentives for like discounts and ripping packs and access to stuff. You also have the value accrual with the buybacks, the buyback and burns, and everything's all aligned, right? 25% already bought back, and likely more will be bought back as they continue to scale on the revenue side. Yeah, Crypto Jones, fully agreed. Ace round really doesn't apply. Yeah, it's not going to apply to every single project that's out there. It's not. For many it will. We've seen on these streams, guys. If you were watching us a year ago, back in the Believe days when we had thousands of people watching us as like all these different belief projects came on. Some of them, they had no utility. They had to force it, right? And it just kind of created this friction for the users of that particular product. But with this one, it fits so well. The utility, everything fits well, and I really, really like the setup on PokeRx. And not to mention, they're on this nice little trend line here as well. So really, really love PokeRx. Love the interview. Anything you guys wanted us to talk about? I saw Dom said Ansem is shilling Squire and Claw Pump. Let's see. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. So we have so here's Claw Pump. Man, Claw Pump didn't really get much of a pump from that chill. This green box was the marked pivot. Still looking pretty good. Let's look at Squire. Squire's still at a nice entry. Still at a solid entry. You're buying at the 0.786. It's not quite the pivot entry, but it's still at a deep value level compared to where it was. So looking good on that side of things. Personally, I think the branding could be better. When I saw the ticker, I thought PokerX. I thought PokerX as well until he said PokeRX. I was like, oh yeah, okay, got it. But he said like he talked about like TCG rescue. He thought about like reskinning at some point to kind of fit if they do want to expand to other markets. Yeah, you thought that as well, Cabs. Ave said Clued. We got a few of you guys asking about Clued earlier. You guys know I got Clued all the way at the top here. Man, I'm still waiting for that like point, that 1.5 mil level. Again, like this just keeps selling off. Like, I mean, look, it went from 500K to 4 mil. So, we'll see exactly. But let me draw a fib on this real quick. Let me just draw a fib real quick. Boom. Yeah, I'd love to buy at that 1.5 level, that 0.786 level right there. That would be really nice. But yeah, I mean, look, Clued, the setup on Clued, I think there was some FUD or something like that. I think there was some FUD that came out about Clued on the dip thoughts. Yeah. So there was some FUD, I believe, on the timeline that came out on Clued. But from what I remember, it was completely disproven. There was no reason for the FUD, no solid basis for it. I believe it was something about the founder, but Seb is a Chad, bro. And Clued with their PMP model look, the technology, there's no question about the technology with Clued. They're operating in memory, which is completely different than where everyone else is focused right now. Clued is going to be a runner. Like, okay, if I was going to say something and I'm like, nah, don't say that on stream. Yeah, no, I won't say that. But all right, I'll say this though. If Clued doesn't go to 30 mil by September, I'm deleting my account. I'm deleting my Twitter. How about that? I didn't even notice the FUD. Yeah, I didn't notice it either. I mean, we've been taking Welp, see ya, chill. chill. No. You'll still be seeing me. Trust. 30 mil incoming. Yeah, Maru, I didn't notice the FUD either. I saw it in the Discord. We were talking about it in the Discord. But we've been talking about Clued for how long, guys? Like, we've been talking about Clued for a while. And basically, we've been seeing it kind of ping pong and sell off. And every time it just keeps getting sold off for whatever reason. So yeah. Chill, your call on Zero coming back to the pivot was spot on. Leighton dropped a white paper. I think we're going higher from here. Let's check on Zero. Let's check on Zero. I believe I put that in this tab. Yeah, I did. All right, let's see what Zero's doing. Yeah. I told you guys. I told y'all, man. I told y'all. It will come back to the pivot, and if there's fundamentals behind the if there's fundamental tailwinds, then we can kind of we can have justification for higher prices. There was a lot of questions around Zero, right? And I told you guys last week when price sells off like this, like people are gonna come out and FUD. They're gonna call you a scammer, saying this, saying that. It's gonna be a lot of FUD. But when prices start going up again, all that FUD magically disappears. So yeah, I'm telling y'all, man, that this pivot entry, it just keeps working out. It keeps working out, and I think I've really found. I think I really found something here with this pivot, and it's been playing out. It's been spot on, so I really love it. Yeah, let's. You said he came out with a white paper. Let's take a look real quick. Let's take a look. Zero. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's go to Leighton. Let's go to Leighton's profile. Let's see if we can talk to him. Let's see if we can track him down. Okay. Oh man, what's the name of that project? Compute. Why am I not finding the all right, well, let's just do this. I don't know. I'm like, why am I not finding the Twitter? Let's do, where's their Twitter? Here we go. Bang. There we go. I'm like, why can I not find the Twitter? That's so weird. Yeah, let's I want to take a look and just kind of update my thesis here on Compute to see exactly what they're trying to build. Because Leighton sound pretty serious on our stream. Leighton sound pretty serious. Like he was like, no, we're building something here. It's gonna take some time. To me, he didn't strike me. Like I know a lot of people are like, oh no, scammer. Like he didn't strike me as a scammer, like at all. So the bottleneck of local AI is the ability of running frontier models on affordable consumer hardware. Now imagine connecting all the idle GPUs to one network and running sharded inference, swarms powering frontier models such as GLM 5.2. That's the goal. All right, let's see. Let's see. Where was you said he dropped the Bink? Let's see. Maybe I have to go to the website. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not. Maybe I have to go to the website to see the white paper. Here's the website. Let's go to docs. I felt like this was here before, no? Okay, so he talks about censorship resistance, privacy, no single point of failure. Okay. Well, I'll take a look at this a little later, and I'll see if there's anything noteworthy. But I mean, look, I'm all for if you can actually drop a white paper and distill your thoughts in long form and tell us what you're building, why you're building it, and what your vision is for the future. I mean, I think that's more than most tech projects are giving you, outside of the ones that we track, right? The Squires of the world, the Clues of the world, the Opals. A lot of people aren't really dropping white papers anymore, but it's good to see that he is. CPX to 10 mil. Ooh, let's look at CPX. Let's look at CPX. What are we sitting at right now? Ooh boy, 1.2 milli. Dog, we've been talking. If you guys aren't in the Discord, we've been talking about this in the Discord for a while, bro. It's literally, we've been talking about this for a very, 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 um, very long time. Looks good. Looks good. Let me see here. I'm actually gonna spend. Let me hit the Discord with this real quick. Bam. Bam, nice, nice. This is looking good. But yeah, I'm in at about like 800K, something like that. Um, looking freaking solid on this chart. I mean, she crushed the interview yesterday. She crushed the interview yesterday on the Easy A Eco Day. She crushed it. She talked about the ace round, and that was my biggest thing. You guys know, you guys know that was my biggest thing. It was like, hey, look, let's just make sure that, because all these projects have great fundamentals, cracked builders with a great resume. They're building in a crazy niche. There's going to be high demand for the product, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I saw all of that. But one thing I always asked about was these types of projects would be candidates for, an ace round. I mean, CPX can go either way, if we're being honest, because they have that token flywheel as well. But yeah, dude, freaking crazy. This is looking good. This is looking good, solid. All right, cool. CPX looking fantastic. I wonder if there's any news. Maru, was there news that come out, or are people just kind of catching on? Did they watch the MCG interview? Let me know. If CPX at 10 mil by end of year, if not, Josh will delete the account. Mark my words. All right. I'll delete my account if CPX isn't at 30 mil by September. I'm gonna just keep throwing 30 mil out there. I don't even care. I'll just keep throwing 30 mil out there. I mean, definitely CPX seems like it can get to it, though. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Not even 10 mil is the ceiling. 10 mil is the current ceiling that we have yet to beat on many of these tech coins, no matter how good the tech is. But once a tech token breaks 10 mil, outside of Pumpcade, I know Pumpcade is well beyond that. Outside of that, Josh, hold on. Josh really looking for an exit. Bro just want to log off forever. Don't we all? Yeah, Crypto Jones, as far as compute is concerned, yes, pretty sure the Squire dev Chris Gilbert would have sniffed out a scam. Yeah, absolutely. I think he would have, if there was any questions, any serious questions there, he would have sniffed that out. If CPX doesn't go to 10 mil, Josh will be living under a bridge. Oh, Top Fumbler, you said you meant chill. Chill just want to log off forever. I just want to log off forever, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I do. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, tell me you guys wouldn't want to log off forever. Tell me that. You wouldn't want to? Man. No, but I would still stream though. I'd still stream. I love coming on stream. Just chilling, just messing with you guys in the chat, just going back and forth. This I love. Trading, I definitely do love too. So, I mean, yeah. Chill. If you were in Ansem spot, would you rug? I'm gonna tell you exactly what my homie. I'm gonna tell you exactly what my homie Scooter said. If y'all do, I'll just play MCG reruns for nostalgia. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm gonna tell you guys. I'm gonna tell you this. There was a tweet that Scooter. So I don't know if you guys know that, but Scooter had he who's creating a chill coin. Who's creating a chill coin? Send him 99.9%. Chill. If you were in the Ansem spot, would you rug? I would hard rug, bro. I would milk it for everything they've got. What did the homie say? What did Orangey say? Max extract. We're trying to max extract on this one, boys. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm a type of person that I value my reputation. You know, I talk about this all the time. Like, I don't like to make bad money. I told you guys about that. There was this guy, he said, you guys remember there was a white girl that got killed on the train, and they made like a meme coin about her like a few months ago. I saw that a guy said that he made like 6 figures off of that trade, and then he's never been profitable since, right? Like, I don't trade coins like that, like people dying and stuff. I don't do that. Like, there's just a line that I don't cross and stuff. So I mean, my reputation definitely isn't worth nearly as much as Ansem's, but I care too much about it. Like, I'm a person that I like to make clean money, bro. Clean, good money. I buy it at an undervalued price. I hold. I go through the emotional roller coaster of will this survive, and then I come out on top. Like, it's a clean trade. Like, that's how I like doing it. That's how I like doing it, man. I don't like making bad money. But so yeah, will I rug? No, I wouldn't. If someone does make like a meme coin and they send me 99.9% of it, I would literally burn 99%, keep 0.9 for myself, and just run it from there. And just run it from there. Because sometimes I'm like, why not? Yeah, why not? That's the island in you. LOL, respect. Bad money, no good. Yeah, bro, bad money is no good, man. Top fumbler. Yeah, making money on those is really bad karma. See, RJ, you're seeing it. You're seeing the vision. In the long run, clean money breeds more money. And we were talking about this earlier with Ansem, bro. Like, he rugs right now. His long-term, opportunity set is cooked. But he doesn't rug, and he like plays this out in a nice way, in a way that like the market respects. Long-term money will flow back to him always. You know what I mean? And that was the whole point. My bad, Crypto Jones. I didn't mean to get that dark with it. But we've seen, there's been so much like meme coins with like, crazy narratives. And I like some of that stuff. I just don't trade. Some of that stuff I just don't trade. But what I was going to say, Scooter had said that he's airdropping his KOL coin to holders via radium cells. Oh my gosh. Getting his OBJ, that's crazy. Let's see. Pull up De Niro's latest Kled post. Bro's got his shirt of doing pec flexes. Oh my gosh. Well, all right, what's Dom doing? Let's check out Dom real quick. De Niro Dom, the homie. Y'all see this guy? Handsome guy. De Niro Dom. All right, what did he post? About Kled? Everyone, is this the post? Yeah, this is the post. This guy, oh my gosh, chat, we gotta watch this. Y'all see this right now? Let's watch.
Just now discovering Kled because of all the headlines that are coming out. Raised a $300 million valuation, raised tens of millions of dollars, had some of the best investors, people from Meta, people from Uber.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Traps are trapping. Traps are going crazy. Yo, RJ is like, yo, buddy is yoked. Yeah, y'all thought Dom was just behind the camera. Skinny guy. Nah. He's a Chad. Chad, look at the traps. I'm not even listening to the video, bro. Don't listen. It's a trap. Oh my gosh. Y'all are insane, bro. We got some comedians in the chat. I'm going to listen to this. I'm going to listen to this a little late. It's like 3 minutes long, but let's read about it. He said, everyone sees the headlines, but the truth is CLED wouldn't exist today without the token. Before the 300 mil valuation, massive VC interest, 10 million contracts, mainstream success, CLED was just an idea that came to life when Avi Patel decided to launch a token. And that is a powerful story and one of the strongest cases for launching a token that I have seen. The most hated ICM token is the only one today that has a shot at becoming a unicorn. Funny how that works. And I think Dom even talked about this yesterday on stream where Miami Dom, literally Miami Dom is out in full force. Just flex on him one time, bro. Does he flex on him one time during this entire video? Just flex one time, Dom. This guy, he thinks he's slick. But Miami Dom in full force. Yeah. So yeah, it's I think there is a bigger story there though with CLED. I like and that's why I tweeted out a little bit the other day, and I said that, you know, the pathway for a token is very it's clear as day. And I'll just go to my tweet because I think that relates to what Dom was saying. I mean, the path is clear as day. Have an idea, you launch a token, you use that to kind of bootstrap your community, your funding, your users, whatever it is, and then you use that to achieve product market fit or some way to validate that, hey, like this is an idea worth pursuing, and then you move to an ownership structure or token equity structure. And that's how you go from trenches to full on, you know, liquidity event. And I think that's the bigger story here. Can't focus with the broad shoulders in my face. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Single-handedly keeping the peptide industry alive. He had to sell his shirt. To buy more CLED. I wish I would have listened to Dom on Backpack. Yeah, Backpack is actually solid, man. They're driving a lot of spot equity volume. Actually, I thought there was some news around that. Speaking of Backpack, here's a tweet. Maru, from Carlos. Last week, Solana was a spot equities chain. This week, it's back to being the meme coin chain. So which one is it? A few thoughts. First, the data. Tokenized stock volumes on Solana exploded off the back of Backpack, SpaceX, Mu, and SNDK listings. Asset volume on Solana hit a new all-time high of 1.4 billion. This was a tweet more so kind of outlining, you know, how Solana is now becoming more of a chain for tokenized equities. But look at all the volume here. Spot volume by category. Tokenized equities hitting 1.4 billion. And then you see the trading platform revenue on each as well. But yeah, I mean, look, Solana's like Backpack is driving a lot of Solana's tokenized equity volume. So yeah, they're definitely a big player, and Dom called that one. What else we got? What else we got here? What else you guys want to talk about? I think let's go back to Deck Screener real quick. VSK. VSK was another one that was supposed to be on the Eco Day, but apparently there was some pivot or something like that. Like they had to pivot on product and they were focused on that. but it's at a pretty interesting area. And I saw that they put out a video recently. Let me go to that VSK. There was a video that they put out. I believe was the founder himself came out and put a video out on some of the latest. So here it is. Let's see. And here's the video.
Alfred here, co-founder of Vasco Intelligence.
Boy, is anyone else seeing this? All right, I'll let you guys. If you guys see it, then I'll talk about it. But if you don't see it, I won't say anything. But here's a message from the VSK founder. y'all need to stop.
Intelligence. Right. I'm a second year at... Hello, Alfred here, co-founder of Vasco Intelligence. I'm a second year at Harvard College studying applied math and government with experience across geopolitics and AI. My co-founder, Eric, and I decided to build Vasco because we see the increasing geopolitical uncertainty in the world and how it affects business in our everyday work. We have built an MVP that uses both proprietary and open source data to help companies monitor, predict, and avoid geopolitical risk. After countless conversations, however, we've decided to move to the next level of the geopolitical risk space, which I will provide more updates on soon.
Got it. So I guess it wasn't, because I thought it was yo, y'all need to chill. Jaw Dude versus Dom's Traps. Who wins? I still say Dom's Traps. Okay, like let's show some respect to the boy. You know, Jaw Dude wins. All right, Dom calls it. Jaw Dude wins. That's what you call a Chad, bro. That's what you call a Chad right there. I don't want to. Let's get off this topic. Let's get off this topic to the next one, please. Stop. But basically, this project here, VSK, it's called Vasco Intelligence. Basically, what the initial part of the project was geopolitical like risk management. So they created like a database to track all the geopolitical events happening worldwide, and they would kind of spit all of that data out in a way to help individual businesses to kind of make decisions, right? Like imagine you're, I don't know, imagine you're like some business that requires, getting a shipment from across the globe. You would be interested in what's going on that side of the globe that could affect your shipment, your business. And so that's what they were providing. But recently I heard that there was a pivot. And I thought that was a pivot to something completely different. But according to him, this is still in the geopolitical risk management sector, but it's just something a little bit different than what they originally envisioned. So interested to see like what they come out with on this, because they're I think he has a Harvard background, very nice Chad. What's this? Alfred has spent time on Venezuela border, in the West Bank, in Nepal, and Kosovo. One thing he learned is that a lot of what matters on the ground never makes it online. That's the idea behind Vasco. Okay, so he's doing some boots on the ground type of work. I can't look at that video and look at the chat at the same time. Like I just can't do it. You guys are insane. LP Army, what's the name of the project? There you go, Vasco Intelligence. Let's move it along here, fellas. Let's move it along, because if we spend too much time on this, I'm gonna end up saying something that I probably shouldn't say on stream. I need to stay like PR focused, chill, PR focused. How do you feel about the tweet Gabriel Shapiro from MetalX just put out on Bio LLM and their relationship with IBM? What the heck? Okay, let's go to MetalX. MetalX Labs, and let's see what Gabriel Shapiro wrote. Absolute Chad, by the way. Really, really good guy. From when he came on the show, he said, "I'm raising a seed extension on Ethereum For MetalX, fund with a wallet, click in USDC, get tokenized Series C2 preferred stock. You must be a verified, accredited investor. In-app or manual with docs provided. Links below. Wait a second. MetalX Labs Inc. is selling preferred stock on Ethereum? Is that? What in the world? Let's do a tier list of who mogs the hardest on Twitter. Just put the shoulders on Twitter, bro, not in a video. Take a pic, put it on, and then let's go from there. Aren't you supposed to? Yeah, Dom. Aren't you supposed to be enjoying free time, a break? I don't know how to feel about this. I think it's great that they're, but I have questions in my opinion. Like, does that mean that valuation 35 mil? So they're raising around on Ethereum. Does that mean they're expanding? Like I don't know. I need Dom here. I need the broad shoulders here. I need someone got to get the guests on. I need your broad shoulders here to explain this one to me, Dom. I don't know how to think about it. Look, I think it's great that they're expanding to Ethereum to raise more funds. I think, like I mentioned the other day, Solana, they have, people still unfortunately give Solana the bad rep of just being the meme coin chain, when in reality you have stuff like MetalX that's being built, right? And the part that that's really interesting is that they're now kind of reaching beyond Solana and saying, okay, well, I'm sure there's some people on ETH that we can raise from, and now they're doing it like completely on chain. I think that's powerful. But yeah, I'm talking about his tweet for Bio LLM, not this one. Oh, gotcha. Let's see. Bio LLM. Bio LLM. Did I miss it? Let's see. Bio LLM. Let's see. Looking. Bio LLM. I'm not seeing a Bio LLM tweet. Am I tripping? Am I just like losing my mind here, or what? Here we go. Bio LLM, which bootstrapped with a pump fund token and offered its token holders equity through MetalX Labs, is now a vendor in IBM's network. Holy crap. Crypto native companies will become the next great success story of crypto, created, funded, and promoted by trenchers. Yes, bro. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about right here. Like, I've been kind of like wondering, with the next bull market, what's the biggest story for the next bull market? And the biggest story, in my opinion, is this right here, where founders can come straight to the market and raise capital for an idea that they think is revolutionary. From there, they bootstrap via a token. They then achieve product market fit, and then through something like MetalX or any of the other ownership models, they can then scale and achieve mainstream success, as we see happening with Bio LLM. I think that will be the biggest story, because what have we seen out of founders? in the case of Theb, in the case of a few others. We've seen in the case of the Karma dev, right? Like we've seen so many devs, they're quitting their jobs. They're dropping out of school, right? Like they're able to pursue an idea that they think is important, and the only thing that makes it possible is tokenization. And I think that is going to be a really powerful story, because not only has crypto now decentralized access or democratized access to financial primitives and investing at large, I think what's now the biggest story is now it's also democratizing access to building a business. You used to have to raise funds from a VC and go through the pitching and months of that. Now you can go directly to the market, crowdsource your funding in a meaningful way, use that to then transition into this token to equity structure, and now you're able to pursue and build and build out whatever you want. I think that's the bigger story here that's going to be for the bull market. I totally agree with Gabriel Shapiro here, and that's a clip. That's a clip. Okay. All right. So let's actually look a little bit deeper into this tweet. AI system training utilizing a patent pending approach to wetware compute, human neuron IPSCs to train machines that understand the human brain. All right. They build biological AI for human computer interaction. Our agentic coding studio, bio LLM chat, and API give devs and teams the tools to work with coding agents and integrate our approach. That's actually pretty huge. As far as just like, but like, what is the they're now a vendor. Let's real quick look at this real quick. Vibe code your mind using BioLM Studio chat with the first AI trained on human neurons. I forget the I want to know exactly what does this like, what does that mean for them? What does that mean for them? Let me see. Yeah, like what does it mean to be a vendor in IBM's network? Let me ask Grok real quick. What does it mean for them to be a vendor in IBM's network? Let's just do that real quick. Let's see. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the bio LLM. Ooh, boy, CPX is going crazy. Let's go. All right, let's look at bio LLM real quick. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. Let's look real quick. I mean, this is still dude, guys. All of this stuff is happening and nothing has even hit 10 mil yet. Nothing has even hit 10 mil yet. But this is looking good. I mean, this chart has been chatting along for a pretty long time. And it's been inside of this range for a while. So this has been the new range established here for bio LLM. And it looks like it wants to go, but I'd assume it'd get a much larger pump than this. Chill, are you going to stream again this week? Hopefully that whistle wasn't too loud. That was I just kind of did that. My bad. I don't know. We'll see. Because technically we're supposed to be on summer break this week. So tomorrow me and Dom will stream. I'm deaf now. My bad, bro. My bad. That's just that was just like a natural reaction. I did not have time to control it. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna stream tomorrow. We're gonna have a nice little stream tomorrow. But Thursday and Friday I'll be off. Yeah, but yeah, 3 partner with IBM and cooked up to 5 mil. But let's just do a side by side comparison. And I think Grok should have loaded by now with the answer. Before we answer your question, Dom, let's real quick look at what it means in practice. Being a vendor in IBM's network typically means a company has joined IBM Partner Plus, IBM's current partner program, which replaced the old partner world. So there's build partners, companies that develop their own software that integrate with or run on IBM technology. There are sell partners, companies authorized to resell IBM hardware, software, cloud services, and service partners, companies that implement, manage, consult on, or provide services around IBM solutions. So safe to say that this is a build partner, right? Partners are tiered based on number of certified proficient staff, revenue generated with IBM, validated solutions. Key benefits of being in the network: access to IBM tech, training tools, resources, marketing support, incentives, rebates, tech support, ability to bid on projects where IBM customers prefer or require certified. Okay, so it positions a company as an official, trusted collaborator in IBM's ecosystem. They can leverage IBM's brand, tech stack, and customer base, while IBM benefits from expanded reach through the partner's sales, services, and service channels. If this is specifically about Bio, feel free to share more context, a link to their profile, and I can dig deeper into what type of vendor relationship they might have. Okay, let's do this, shall we? Let's do this. Let's go back. Let's hit Grok up on the small window. Let's look for an official announcement. We would love to feature. Yeah, I'd love to. Where is their official announcement about this? Yeah, where is the official announcement? Do you guys see it? Because I definitely don't. Oh, okay. So maybe I try to look for this later. I'll just send Grok this tweet for now. But yeah, Dom, I mean, look, 3 cooked to 15 mil off the IBM announcement, but they said that they were partnered with IBM. This is Bio LLM just kind of being in their ecosystem. And being in the ecosystem, it does come with a barrier to entry that the project needs to be, a legit business. It needs to be certified. It needs to have official tech. So I think there's a sense of validation around Bio LLM. But this isn't a direct partnership with Bio LLM from what I'm understanding here. And maybe let's see. The attached screenshot is a direct screenshot from IBM's Partner Plus directory page, listed as an IBM Silver partner. Partner type is independent software. Yeah, like I said, it's a strong signal of legitimacy for a project that began in the crypto trenches. Okay, so it's just I think it's a vote of confidence. That's all it is. It's just it just validates that this is actually real tech. It's not just but I don't think it's as big as a direct partnership with IBM. Yeah. But real quick, let's just compare side by side. I mean, it's probably still going to run on the news, and I think it bodes well for. I mean, it's still a good catalyst. Don't get me wrong; it's just not a partnership with IBM, but it's still a good catalyst because, like Grok was saying, they can leverage IBM's brand, tech stack and customer base. So, you know, if the moat on any and everything in this market is distribution, then, you know, obviously through IBM, you have another layer of good distribution, you know, with access to this new customer base. So, you know, I think, I mean, look, all these coins are undervalued, bro. All these coins are undervalued. Jesus, what the heck happened to 3? This thing is falling off a cliff. It held the pivot for a long time, but then it just died. Holy cow. Holy cow. So, but yeah, I mean, you saw the cook, you know, the pump and then the eventual dump. I think this is better. I think maybe the market just isn't processing this fully. This is still under 2 mil. So this might be the local top here. But I mean, compared to if we zoom out, when in doubt, zoom out, this isn't even like 5 mil yet. This isn't even at 10 mil yet. Like this still has a long way to go. And this is, you know, that's just the local top. So yeah, you ask me how these tech coins are going to do in the next 6 to 12 months. I say we're way higher. Right now, we have a ceiling on these tokens due to a bear market and a market that largely lacks confidence and they don't know what they want. One day they say that they want tech tokens and they're willing to buy up 3 to 15 mil. And then the other day they say they want memes because Ansem now has his own token. So now they only want memes, right? The market doesn't really know what it wants, or maybe it wants both and there's not enough liquidity to sustain, you know, a much larger run for both. Ansem, people can try to argue that, you know, that's a sustained pump, but that's really, they had to corner supply for Ansem to reach 150 mil, right? We talked about that earlier in the stream. Whereas on these tech tokens, no one is really there to accumulate supply. And if you think back to that tweet that I shared with you guys earlier from Credible Crypto, remember, the longer the consolidation, the more powerful the breakout. Why? It's because when you have these tokens consolidate, when these tokens consolidate, that means it goes from weak hands. It goes from weak hands to strong hands, and those strong hands don't sell. But the thing with consolidation is it takes time to corner that supply for long-term holders to corner that supply. It takes a lot of time, right? And so with that said, there's not enough liquidity out there that's cornering the supply of these tech tokens. And they're also going to need a lot of time before they can see, you know, they can really break through the ceiling. But obviously with meme coins, you can easily spin up a quick narrative, corner some supply and see some things run. Speaking of Credible Crypto, he actually had another tweet here that kind of like talks a little bit about what I said just a few moments ago. He said, you guys claim you want progress and growth in this space, but then you keep repeating the same failed meme coin experiments endlessly, one after another, until you lose all the money you have and rinse out whoever is left. Then you wonder why. You don't actually want progress and growth. You just want to make money. And so much so that you will gamble in the casino day after day until you're broke. And then for the cherry on top, you will find someone else to blame for your losses. That I will never understand. I will never understand. Like there was all these KOL coins that came out, they pumped and then they dumped. I don't even know why people were buying that. I mean, could you make money on these things? Sure, but I mean, they definitely weren't like investable. They didn't have no long-term thesis. They barely stayed around for a day or two, right? So yeah, I really like get where Credible Crypto is coming from here, and I think that's why Ansem is just saying, stop the betas, just buy Ansem. We don't need the PvP. You don't need a beta. You don't need to start a meta. Just buy one singular token, and that will make us pump. And actually, there's some tech that could be coming out here pretty soon that could help us with you know, the liquidity dispersion here. And you know, hopefully they come out sooner than later so I can tell you guys about it. But yeah, that's something I wanted to share with you guys. IRL stream by the pool. You guys want me to stream by the pool? I mean, I can put like a Daft Punk style mask on, but you know, we can get the traps out. We can get the traps out. You know what I mean? Like, cause Dude, you seen Dom. You seen Dom. Wait till you see me, bro. Wait till you see me. All respect to Dom. All respect to him. You know what I mean? But y'all don't want to see me in an IRL stream by the pool, bro. You don't want to see these guns. You really don't. You really don't. What's going on Thursday? We need another chill day. Dang, I almost whistled again. Top Fumbler, if you're still here, I was able to hold that one back. What's going on Thursday? So Thursday, Friday, we're pretty much chilling. No stream on Thursday or Friday. Not gonna lie, you know, I've been streaming like a lot for the last year, so I'm really psyched about um I'm really psyched about getting like a day or two off. Like honestly, I haven't been trenching as much these last 2 weeks. I've just been in the Discord, like chilling, like with the homies, like researching alongside them. Been buying some stuff here or there, like CPX, for example. But like overall, I just been chilling, man. Like, you know, it's been a grind with the stream. It's been a grind. You know, oh my God. Wow. Look at that. Look at freaking that, fellas. CPX is going crazy. All right, if something like that happens on Thursday, I'll come on, Crypto Jones. So someone launch a chill coin, send me 99.9%. I'll burn all of it, and then I'll airdrop. I'll burn 90% and I'll send 9% to the MCG community. And then we can just, you know, we can run that up from there. We can run that up from there. But wow, very, very nice. Very nice moves here on CPX. Looking fantastic. Looking fantastic here. But yeah, that's pretty much it, fellas. That's pretty much it, fellas. I mean, you have wow, Dom, that's super offensive. Why? Why? Because he's black. Yeah, Dom. Yeah, Dom. He looks like King Kong. What is this, man? Explain yourself, sir. Explain yourself. I'm pulling the race card. I don't even care. I'm pulling the race card. You know what? I'm offended. I'm offended. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Wait, Dom, you know this. Nah, wait, chat. No, he's playing. He knows I am, bro. He knows I am. Don't even get don't even get caught up with this. He's playing around. He knows I am. He knows I am. You guys all know I am. We've talked about this. It's crazy because he didn't think I was black at first. But as it turns out. All right. Anybody buying the easy meme coin? Anybody buying the meme coin on Easy E? Easy E. LOL. Easy A. This is such a funny stream. Oh my gosh. All right, hold on. All right, let's take a look at some things, shall we? What are we buying today? Squire's at a nice level. Clude's at a nice level, but would love it to go a little lower. TCG is not bad. 5 mil is in a bad area. Codex still pretty much in the same spot. Claw Pump hasn't really seen a reaction off the Ansem news. Let's look at looks like Zero is pumping. Dude, I gotta look into this Ward protocol, bro. Let's actually look into that real quick. What are we at? We're at 240. We'll shut the stream down in like 5-ish minutes or so. But real quick, I want to look at Ward. All right. Ward Halo finally released today. Think BitTorrent for AI inference, peer-to-peer AI inference. Interesting. Of course, you need some operators on day one, or the platform would be useless. And it seems Ask Venice, Near Protocol, and OG Labs have stepped up. All are investors in Ward, waiting to see real usage figures in the coming weeks. Looking good so far. Interesting. This one is a BNB token, though. Yeah, it's a BNB token. It kind of sold off a little bit. Let me see here. Rude boy. Yo, y'all are crazy. Nest. I've been seeing Nest around a little bit here. Let me finish up with Ward real quick. Let's get the full thesis on Ward. We'll do Nest. If there's anything else you guys want me to do, just let me know, and we can do it, and then we'll wrap up stream. But I'm just doing a quick scan of all my stuff here, seeing if there's any dips that we could buy. Prism is in the pivot. It's on a nice little dip here. Let's look at the GameFi category real quick. Dude, this project right here, Clash. Holy crap, frag. Oh my gosh, that thing rugged. Holy moly. I thought frag was oh, you guys can't even see my screen right now. But dude, look at that. Frag rugged. Holy crap. I thought they were like gonna be this revolutionary, play to earn protocol. Let's see here. Okay, Jim is back in the pivot. I like this though. I like Clash though. I'm not even gonna lie. I told you guys about Clash. Hey Dom, can we get Clash on, by the way? Can we get Clash on? Can we get Clash on next week? They're at like 580K. I think they'll be fine. Or not 580. They're at 460K. They were at 500K yesterday. Yeah. Frag rugging is definitely rough to see. Tough, man. Bear market tings. Clash is another one. We're gonna go back to Ward here in a sec. Sorry, I'm kind of like jumping all over the place, but like there's so much happening. Now you get an inside look at how at what happens while I'm trading. I just get like super ADHD and just start going like from one place to the next. But I believe we talked about this in the Discord, if I'm not mistaken. Clash. Let me see. Let me just make sure. Clash. Boom. Yeah, so it looks like, let me see, when was this? Yesterday. So yeah, soon they'll add Hyperliquid. They have 40 mil monthly trading volume. They're partnered with Lighter. Ooh, this one is partnered with Lighter. Okay. This one actually looks solid. Interesting. Let's look at Clash. Pokey Liquid is little low at 300, 400K, but was at a milli a couple days ago. Maybe we can get them on sometime next week. Yeah, they're solid, Dom. They're solid. Trust. We can get them on next week. Appreciate you, big homie. Because I believe that the Pokey RX token was a little lower than this too. I believe Pokey RX was, if I'm not mistaken, like 300K. Yeah, 340K. Yeah, So we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Not too much craziness going on. But yeah, let's look at this real quick. So here is some metrics on Clash. Let me see. Could someone get me a Clash thesis? Someone get me a Clash thesis post, please. Um, looking, looking, because they're officially partnered with and integrated with Lighter. They're the first. All right, here we go. Here we go. I found one. So Clash is the first gamified perp dex aggregator. You can trade across 8 integrated perp dexes from a single interface. You have daily quests, raids, lucky draws, leaderboards, and win streak rewards. It turns perp trading into a game-like experience. They have 5,000 users. Like we just talked about, this was 30 mil at the time of this post, which was like 8 days ago. But now it's like 40 million trading volume. Winner of the uh, Pacifica Hackathon, supported by a super team. Singapore, 20% of supply already burned. 100% of platform revenue is used to buy back Clash. Okay. Utility, quests and trading rewards, raid and lucky draw incentives, buyback supported ecosystem, potential future governance and fee benefits. Okay, I like this setup. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Clash is looking solid here. Yes, yes, it is. Gamified perps. Gamified perps. And it looks like they're about to integrate Hyperliquid. From what I'm seeing here, it looks they're already partnered. They just partnered with Lighter maybe like a couple days ago. But this is like the look of the game. This is actually crazy. Like it's truly gamified perps, bro. This is insane. You can do your quests. And this was just announced 2 days ago. The most fun perp trading platform just partnered with Lighter. And if we want to take a look at Lighter real quick, Lit. We talked about that being super bullish last week. Looks like that one is holding up really well. Here's the lit chart. So as we reach some of these levels here, as we reach this level, as we reach all-time high at $4, as we start getting closer to price discovery, people I think will start looking for betas to Lighter, into the Lighter price action. So I think this could be a potential beta. Ooh, look at Dom. Look at Dom coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, homie. Clash is partnered with Lighter. Yes, they are. We need stimulation so bad. We're gamifying one of the most already stimulating things. Bro, our dopamine receptors are cooked, my friend. Our dopamine receptors are cooked. Oh my gosh. Are we cooked, chat? We might be. We just might be. I promise you that. We just might be. We just might be cooked. We just might be cooked. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. Look at that. Clash is locked in for next week. Let's freaking go. What the heck? Let's do it. All right. So I think that's it, boys. Yeah, we definitely cooking. We're cooking. We're cooking. So we have that. Let me see. Oh, and they're supported by Meteora. Shout out to Meteora. Cooked or cooking? All right. So we're cooked as Degens, but we're cooking as MCG. that's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. Yeah, so here's the recent metrics, a roundup on Clash of Perp stats. 5.8K traders. That was an increase from the 5,000. 150 to 200 daily active traders, 44 million monthly trading volume, partnered with 12 perp dexes. And tomorrow we are hosting a Mega Solana perp dex trading competition in partnership with a few other perps. Would appreciate some support here. Okay. Awesome. All right, cool. All right, boys. Well, I think that's pretty much it. I think we got the thesis on Clash of Perps. Anything else you guys want to go through? Anything else that we should cover? Oh, yes. We gotta go back to Ward, don't we? We definitely have to go back to Ward. So if you guys don't remember, I originally liked Ward because Ward had, I believe, one of the Venice founders pivoted to building Ward after the Venice. Venice was successful. Everything went well over there. So basically, one of the founders said, all right, I'm going to go out and do my own thing. And essentially Ward was that particular thing. And I know Jeter Griffin here, as you can see on screen, he's actually he's actually been on this one for quite a while. So it's basically peer-to-peer AI inference. And one of the friends of the show, Jones Ryder, he talks about Ward. He says, so the actual hard problem in decentralized AI compute has always been verification. If I pay some random operator to run an inference job, how do I know they did it? ZK proofs are too slow and expensive. Redoing the computation yourself defeats the entire point. So most projects in the space end up ignoring the problem. Specs, statistical proof of execution, is actually a decent answer to this. Operators return a small fingerprint of their output, and other operators spot check it. Honest work overlaps around 90%. Faked output drops to like 1%. And the reason is that you literally cannot fake that fingerprint without running the model yourself. There is no shortcut. You can't fake the cost. No staking required, which is why I think why I think it's underrated. Anyone with idle compute can plug in immediately, including people running local models for other reasons. So the supply side already exists. This isn't build a network and hope operators show up in 18 months. It's routing verification through compute that's already running today. But supply without demand doesn't matter. And this is where Ask Venice comes in. How long is this? Ooh, this is a little long one, huh? That's Venice already has a real user base running uncensored AI inference. That's not a hypothetical future user base. That's existing demand. So the partnership isn't just a name on a backer list. It's a distribution channel straight into a user base that already cares about the core value prop. Way more relevant than trying to bootstrap demand from zero or relying purely on crypto native users who may not even need inference. I keep going back to this. Anthropic restricting model access to Mythos a few days ago was a bigger deal than people give it credit for, not because of the restriction itself, but because it's proof of concept that access to frontier intelligence is now a regulatory lever. That's the kind of thing that makes inference that can't be unilaterally restricted stop being an abstract crypto Twitter philosophy and start being something agents and builders might actually want as a hedge. Inference marketplaces are already one of the better performing categories of the cycle. Oh, wow. They had a $4 million raise at 200. Wait, what? Most of the candidates I've looked at are either pure narrative or have a verification approach that doesn't actually hold up under scrutiny. Specs clears that. The $4 million raise at a $200 million valuation back in January is also worth a second look, led by OG, Masari, and VVV. What? What the heck? Based and ward pilled. What the heck? So what is specs in relation to ward? That's my question. You guys mind if we do some live DD here quick? You guys mind? What is specs in relation to ward? Is it like a parent company or something? The specs as an effective statistical verification method for decentralized AI inference that detects faked outputs. It positions the Venice AI partnership as key for real-world demand. Okay. Oh, specs is their core verification mechanism. Got it. Okay, so did Masari and Venice invest in Ward? That's the part that I'm trying to figure out. Because he said specs, and I was like, wait, what? When do we get Jones Ryder back on? We definitely got to get him back on soon, bro. Sooner than later. Lila, excuse me. Lila Podina. What's up? Good to see you on stream. When do we get Jones Rita back on? We gotta get him back on sooner than later. Whoa. Boys. Both Masari and Venice AI participated in Ward's $4 million strategic round closed in January 2026 at a $200 million valuation. Wasn't a traditional VC. Masari brings data research integration. Venice provides uncensored AI models. This alignment highlights in Ward's announcements multiple covered sources. What's the bull case? Sometimes you just gotta ask. You just gotta ask chat to put all of its head together for you. That's insane, though. They had OG Labs, Near Protocol, and Venice support, and then you also have, you have Venice, and then you have Masari investing. Like, what the heck? At a $200 million valuation? It looks like there's buybacks and burns. There's staker yield. Wow. So Warden actually looks really good here. Ward actually looks very, very good here. So let's real quick talk about Ward, huh? Let's real quick talk about Ward. I believe this is the chart. This is the Ward chart here, at least from what I can tell. I don't see, the chart looks super weird. You see that? Like, the chart looks super weird. But this is the only chart I can find for Ward. And the market cap says that it's 380K, but it's really 2 million market cap. So obviously it's like at the bottom of a range, if you will. Or not the bottom. It's actually towards the middle of a range, but catching a nice little bid here. But I'd be looking to get in on this. Ward actually looks really, really good here. Really, really good. Interesting. Okay, so two to put on your radar here. All right. Well, I think that's it. We're at 3 o'clock. We're coming up on 2 hours, 48 minutes, almost 3 hours. of stream time. Anything else that you guys want to talk about? Maybe we can run through it real quick, but I think that's it for today. We talked about Clash. We even live got them booked for next week. We talked about Ward. We did some breakdowns as far as, you know, Ansem and some on-chain stuff happening. Anything else that we think that we need to discuss before we go? I think we got it all. I think we covered it all. Dog, I'm still in my XPL long, man. And I was targeting 12 and I'm getting very close to my entry again. But ooh, if we can hit a nice little SFP here, that would be nice. But yeah, all right. That's pretty much it. But tomorrow we have a nice lineup for you guys tomorrow. So let's do this. Let me pull up the MCG account. And let's pull up the MCG account and let's go to the schedule for this week. As you know, it's the summer break this week. Man, dude, where is this? All right. Okay. Let's just go to the let's go to media and let's go to summer vacation. Here we go. All right, so here's the schedule for the rest of the week. We had EZA Ecosystem Day yesterday. That was really nice. Today we had PokeRx on. That was a really nice conversation. Really impressed by their growth in revenue. I think they're probably one of the fastest growing TCG projects on Solana, if I'm not mistaken. So really interesting conversation with them. Tomorrow we have a Repo on. The boys wanted to come back on for a quick little update. So we'll have them on at 12:30. This one was also a highly requested project, PRXVT, Privacy First Infrastructure for AI Agents. So we'll get them back. And then we have the new addition to the the Pumpcade team, Costgood. So we'll get a quick update from the Pumpcade team. Thursday and Friday we'll likely have off. We'll likely have no stream that day. And then next week we'll be back to our normal activities, back to every day, and we'll be good to go. Guys, do you want to see a surprise guest real quick? Oh, no, he just left. Oh, he's so lucky. I was about to pull him up on stream. Dom was in the waiting room for like 2 seconds. And I was about to pull the traps up on the stream. So wait, what? Okay, Crypto Jones, potentially a surprise stream on Thursday. Oh, right. I'm sorry. So instead of PRXVT, we're actually going to have Python on Wednesday in place of them. It looks like they backed out. I forgot about that. Good catch on that, Dom. Good catch on that. But yes, Crypto Jones, maybe. I'm not going to commit to it, but I'll say, okay, maybe we do a stream on Thursday, a quick pop-up stream if markets are good. All right. But sounds good, guys. Look, really appreciate you guys. It's about 650 of us here in the stream. So let's all go to at MCG Live to close out the stream. So make sure, number one, you're following the account. We're here Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We talk about anything happening on-chain, narratives, majors, perp setups, on-chain setups. We talk about the latest news and all things happening in crypto. And as you know, the focus of the show is always highlighting great builders. So you know that we'll be here doing that at 12 p.m. Eastern time, Monday to Friday, except this week, not Thursday and Friday. And thank you guys so much for 11.7K. We've actually grown even since the start of this stream. I want you guys to go down, go to our, wow, Dom, pin the tweet. So let's go down, scroll down here, and you'll go to, I like this, babe, wake up, my quant chill is on. Go to our latest stream. And then you want to hit like and retweet. I know this is the end of the stream, but when they get in here, they can always re-watch the stream and they'll get a lot of value out of it. So really appreciate you guys. Fun times today. Chill. MCG needs more sessions like this. Happy to push this forward, bro. I love doing this. Like I said earlier, man, like, yes, yes, logging off forever sounds really nice, but I'd still love to at least stream with you guys and just, come on, chill, trade, do some live research. I really like the back and forth with the chat with you guys. And I just love chilling on stream. It's really fun. So we'll do it again soon. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. I'll see you in the Discord. If you want to go to the Discord, link in our bio. So go to @MCG Live, link in our link tree right there. I'll see you in the Discord, or for those of you following me, I'll see you on the timeline. GG's, fellas.